Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Super Shenanigans Variety Hour.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hi.
You counted us in like iCarly. I just wanted to say that. 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
Oh
man.
Oh God! Now you have to do an edit.
I have to put an iCarly song at low volume in the background, and I've done so much worse. Welcome to my mom's house adventure, guys. It's so barren in here because I don't live here.
Yeah. Nice blue wall and
Thanks.
the gates of heaven behind you.
Yeah, I don't have like curtains for that, so we ball.
We're gonna see a
You're
hand
glowing.
reach out of there.
Yeah, just a giant. Just take Liam away. Man.
All right. Anyway,
Speaking of blue and blue walls,
yeah, we're getting
Shut
to
the
it.
What are
fuck
we-
up.
This is the Sonic episode. This is the Sonic the Hedgehog episode. This is my attempt to try to convince Liam that Sonic is actually good.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
I've never particularly been a big Sonic fan.
Would you call yourself a hater?
Yeah, for sure. I definitely consider myself a hater. And I do like to ironically engage in the Mario versus Sonic debates because it's just very funny for Sonic fans to hit you with so many arguments, and then you go like, "Yeah, but Mario's just good though," and then you just win because of that because it's true.
They're like, no, dude, the lore, Sonic's lore.
Yeah, like literally every argument's like, check out Yoshi.
Yeah.
And you're like, fuck, man.
But did I was gonna say, did you ever play Yoshi's Island though? That's
Like,
pretty
oh,
badass.
shit.
That's a badass game.
Yeah, it
It's
is
a
pretty
badass
badass. Yeah, but Sonic Spinball.
Sonic
yeah.
Spinball's fire.
You just have to hit him with the fact that the Mario franchise has a hit percentage of over 30%,
So
and then we win.
Yeah.
yeah. Now, to convince Liam, we have decided to present him with a few games. Sonic 3 and Knuckles was the first one.
Yeah.
Bro forgot the games.
I forgot it.
Yeah.
But
We played them.
specifically, we played
Angel Island Revisited.
Yes, Sonic Air, Sonic Angel Island Revisited. It has a few,
Luckily,
like a bunch of other changes.
Yeah.
You can go.
Yeah. So luckily, because the reason why we had to play, or these two had to play Sonic 3 Air, is because when Sonic Origins came out, they delisted Sonic 3 and Knuckles from the Sega Master Drive and Genesis collection off of Steam. So Sega was like, hey, you want Sonic 3 and Knuckles? Yeah, play our shittier HD version.
So,
But luckily, I still had my copy on Steam. And I just played Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
You want to know something really
Nice
funny?
and classic.
I came home and found this in a closet.
to be fair,
That's
you
good.
need another game. You can't.
I
that's
do
not
need
the-
You do need another game
I
to
do need
clip in
and
there.
Knuckles.
Yeah,
but
and Knuckles is
it's
pretty
like-
important.
It's just like, oh,
That's the
whoops.
first half. That's the first few levels.
dude,
Yeah.
shout out
Up
to
until Mushroom.
Basestat's release strategy. We're gonna release half a game, and then we're gonna release the second half of a game, and you buy both.
So
I'm pretty sure the timeline of that was like 6 months later too. Like it was like a pretty close time frame, right?
yeah, basically what happened was they didn't finish the game on time because this game was fucking
Whoopsies.
huge. It was pretty big. So they're like,
Yes.
okay, let's try to figure something out. What if we just released this part of the game?
Yeah.
And they did. And I think like it's cool and all. I also think there may be like I don't know, it's weird hardware wise because like you clip in and Knuckles.
Yes. Yeah, so my older cousins let me borrow their copy of Sonic 3 and Knuckles for Genesis like years ago.
Mhm.
And it was such an interesting thing because I had to text him like, how the hell do I do this? And he goes, oh, you flip open the top of Sonic and Knuckles, and it's like a little slot that you thunk, and you just clip in either, and you could clip in Sonic 1, 2, or 3 into and Knuckles, and you
Really?
play that on the Genesis. And honestly, It's like
Yeah.
such a magical feeling when you see that giant tower of Sonic sticking out of your Genesis. You're like, yeah,
I
that's
think
right.
it's like kind of bad because at the end of the day, Sonic 3 is like Angel Island, Hydro City, not Hydrocity. I'll kill you.
Yeah, not Hydrocity. If you come into our comments and you say Hydro City is Hydrocity, I'm after you.
Marble Garden
I'm
Zone,
after you.
Carnival Night, Ice Cap, and Launch Base. That's it.
Yes.
That's like
Which
half
are
the game.
great stages, though.
Yeah.
But also-
honestly.
Just delay it, man.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Just delay it, man.
But
Especially if it only took 6 months.
I think this is a pretty cool solution. And at the end of the day, like, you get a lot of stuff with Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
Mm-hmm.
So
It is a very
worked. I think it
jam-packed-
worked out
would
for
it
them.
fit? Would it all fit in one cartridge if they delayed it?
I think that was one of the issues that they ran across, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm pretty sure that's
is
an
storage
issue.
capacity.
Shaymin, do you know this?
Yeah, Shaymin. Do you know this off the top of your head?
No, I don't know this off the top of my head.
Well, that's okay.
Well, you better find out.
I was looking
Yeah.
right now on my phone.
You better find out. But yeah, on one hand, I think it's a cool and a unique solution. On the other hand,
It's
you have
really
to buy
wild.
you have to buy 2 games.
Yeah, and back then too, it wasn't like
Yeah, that
Sonic
shit
and
wasn't
Knuckles was
cheap.
released cheaper. Like it was still released as a full game on its own. But now you
Yeah.
have
So in
2
a way,
games.
if I was around back then, I think I'd feel like that was like a massive scam.
A little bit, I'd say.
yeah. I don't know.
Uh,
if you're
And it makes
a
it a
90s
bitch to
kid,
emulate this shit.
oh yeah, it is a pain in the ass to emulate.
So-
But if any 90s kids can comment below and go, yeah, I hated the fact that they split up Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
Is that how 90s kids sound?
Yeah, yeah, they're from a different time. Yeah.
So, essentially, the version we played on, Angel Island Revisited, pretty cool, awesome. It's the only other,
Didn't find out.
it's the only 60 FPS like widescreen version of the game, 16:9. So it's like
Nice.
not shit. It's pretty hard having like less room to see where you're running in Sonic. Imagine how your screen's
Exactly.
cut in half.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. You are already struggling sometimes, but at least you can see where you're fucking going.
That make me think that was there a original screen option? Because now that I think about it, I
There
kind of
was.
feel bad for doing that.
No,
Because
I
of-
should have.
Because I didn't even think like, yeah, no, duh, this is the wrong aspect ratio, and that's gonna affect my opinion. Because I'm gonna be able to see way further ahead of me.
So there are a lot of caveats. This is a superior version of the game you played. So this is not the
Okay.
same. Yeah, they changed
I
a lot of
I played pretty
things.
close to classic. So I
That's
could,
pretty close
I could
to
throw in
classic.
some of my
You can go. You know what?
throw in
No,
my
I
angry
did play the
opinions.
original. It was annoying.
Yeah.
You had the aspect ratio, right?
Who, me?
Yeah, you had the smaller aspect.
Yeah, no, I had the original aspect ratio. It wasn't widescreen. It was just the nice block. They even gave me CRT options. They're like, hey, you want this look shitty? I'm like, nah, I'm good.
I
Thank
don't
you,
know how
though.
much that matters. All right.
CRT options usually look so bad in
So-
emulation. There's one exception. I just want to shout out this emulator. It's called Nestopia, and it has like a really good built-in filter for it, where it honestly looks fantastic. I don't understand how they do it, but it looks great.
Shout out to Nestopia.
It also added like a few extra goodies. Some of them weren't available to you, but mainly just like bug fixes, stuff like that. There's bugs in the game. You probably
Yeah.
didn't run into any of them. It's a little bit
No,
harder.
it is
Yeah.
hard to run into the bugs in Sonic 3, just because I feel like Sonic 3 overall is a
Because
very
you're so
kind of
fast.
polished.
The most you
experience,
get
and
is
also
like
it's
some
very fast.
animation bugs at worst.
Yeah, exactly.
It really isn't that bad. And yeah, I guess we get onto the plot. There's barely a fucking plot.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
couldn't,
This is
I
the
couldn't really
most
tell
that
you
we
what
got.
happened.
Basically, Knuckles is an idiot and was tricked by Eggman. Because Eggman's like, Knuckles, Sonic's gonna steal the Master Emerald. And then he's like, shit, I gotta kick his ass. And he does. He just fucks with him the entire game until the end.
Annoying.
Dude, yeah. What an asshole.
My favorite part about Knuckles as a character is that he does this every time. In Sonic Adventure, he does this. Literally. Obviously,
so he's like super stupid.
Like that. Yeah, he just always he falls for it every single time. Actually.
Yeah, and yeah, that's a very good example. If you've seen the Sonic 2 movie, if you've seen the Sonic 2 movie, that's basically part of the plot of this game.
Yeah,
of Knuckles is really dumb and goes, should I listen to the man in a giant murder machine or Blue Hedgehog that goes Super Saiyan?
Well, he was the first person he saw, so like you're gonna listen.
And yeah, exactly.
Person. Yeah. That makes
Clearly,
sense.
you must be trustworthy with the way you're capturing and enslaving animals.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, but it's such a baller opening. Like,
it is pretty intense.
Tails and Sonic fly towards Angel Island to go after Eggman. Sonic's got the emeralds. He goes supersonic, but then Knuckles pops out of the ground like a little monster and punches them out of you. That's sick. As a kid, I was like,
what?
I was like, whoa,
he's stronger than Supersonic.
Whoa. Yeah.
Yeah, Knuckles is fucking intense. He kicks ass.
Yeah, Knuckles is intense.
That's the plot of the game.
That's basically it. Yeah.
Basically.
At the end of the game,
he steals the cat. Yeah, he steals the Master Emerald at the end. Knuckles goes, "Whoops! I guess I've been gaslit this whole time." And then they beat Robotnik.
Yeah.
And then the game's over.
Yeah.
Can we also comment on how funny Knuckles' sprite is towards the end of the game, where he's like panting on the ground?
Dude,
like
he got electrocuted to death. He was barely alive.
Dude, yeah, he got like metal rods in his brain, and they got shocked by Eggman.
That
like,
shocked all of his neurons out.
Dude, yeah, Knuckles is like on the brink of dumb.
Yeah, he was dumb beforehand.
Brain damage.
Well, now he has more brain damage. You're right.
Motherfuckers say that Knuckles is smart. They're like,
yeah,
Sonic Boom version? Nah. He's fucking crazy stupid in that one. No, he's just dumb.
Isn't everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's dumb.
Yeah, that's also
Boom,
true.
To be fair,
that's also true. Yeah.
Anyway, the actual levels, I think they're probably some of my favorites. There's a lot of debate between.
I can't compare to anything other than
Sonic 2 is the main
other games we played.
Other one that people care about.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's expand upon that a little bit from me and Shaymin's knowledge, at least, of Sonic 2 compared to Sonic 3, I guess. Personally, controversial take. Sorry, Sonic 2 truthers. Sonic 3 is just better.
Yeah. So
it's more fun. The levels have a lot more depth to them, even though there's so much. Like these levels are huge, like bigger than any other Sonic game before then. You know, like this was kind of like Sega's biggest push for Sonic at the time. I feel.
I think
like they figured out their formula and now they're just doubling down on it.
Sonic 2 has like the first sense where they kind of figure out how to implement speed into the game. Sonic 3, they already know how to do it, so it's pretty easy to feel that.
I feel like the biggest issue with Sonic 3 is the fact that compared to Sonic 2, where Sonic 2 you can kind of breeze through the entire game pretty easily.
There's a lot of shit.
In Sonic 3, there's so much shit that the game really kind of takes a while, and I feel like that could be an issue that people can come across, is just kind of the pacing of it. Because there were so many times where I'm like, all right, I just want to go. And then, like, there's this one section, I can't remember what stage it's on, but there's these platforms that have spikes on the bottom, and they're rotating on, like, a chain, and you have to, like, carefully jump onto the platform and not get hit by the spike overhead. And I kept getting, like, bounced back, like, 2 or 3 times, and I'm like...
There's always... Now, there's always bullshit in classic Sonic games. That's another...
Yeah.
That's another complaint that people could have there. There's some parts of the level where there's a platform and there's just an enemy that's able to hit you, and you can't do anything. Or spikes just on the wall. You should have known better. Don't run.
Yeah, exactly. Like, at that point, it's a lot of kind of like repetition. You know, like that's for people that have played the game a lot and kind of know the stage. Where it's like, oh, there's a spike up ahead. Let me jump now, and then stuff like that. But if you haven't played through it before, you're just slamming into every corner and wall, and
You
you're
gotta take it slow.
bouncing back into your brain. And at first, I think that's the big thing. You gotta take it slow a little bit.
I think Sonic 3 is also the most flashy of the classic games. Look at some of the fucking stage entrances, like Ice Cap Zone. And obviously, like, the cutscene transitions and stuff like that with Knuckles.
Yeah. Yeah, and even after the Mushroom Hill Zone,
flying battery.
hop onto the flying battery. Yeah. Like, that was a really sick transition.
It reminds me
latching on.
Of like some Mega Man games.
Yes,
and how like you could effectively go through them in a set order and they lead into each other.
Yeah,
I think it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think visually this game's just like one of my favorites from the Genesis. Like, beautiful sprite work. I love the way Sonic looks. I think it's probably one of my favorite Sonic sprites just ever.
You notice the backgrounds?
The backgrounds are gorgeous.
They have so many layers too.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, especially once you kind of start reaching more of your like underground based zones, like your Hydro Cities and in some areas of Ice Cap where you could see like the icy caverns behind. It's super sick. It's awesome.
I love slowly progressing through the level, and then eventually like you get that release of like you can see the opening in the background.
Mm-hmm. I have a question because of when we were establishing this, what we were doing for this podcast, you said that also in the original Sonic 3 and stuff, sometimes the level order was different. How did that affect level transitions? Unless you misspoke.
I'm pretty sure they did do that.
They have in original Sonic 3. I feel like they had, if I recall correctly, and feel free to correct me in the comments below, but for the most part, all the stage transitions were pretty similar. A lot of the level order was pretty similar. It's just that right after, what's the final one in Sonic 3? It's the one right before Mushroom Hill.
Launch base.
Yeah, so in original Sonic 3, Launch Base was it. Like, you fought giant spider bot Eggman, and then wham, it's done. Game's like, alright, have fun.
Well, they had actually the. I'm pretty sure they had
like a
boss.
separate final boss.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I also think you fought, technically, Liam.
Huh?
I think that may have also been in the game, Sonic Air. But it was the Eggman that, like, had arms and stuff and grabbed you and shit. If not, then you might have to enable that.
I'm gonna.
If you can't remember it, that's fine. Just final boss of Launch Base Zone. You'll see it.
Yeah, so in Sonic 3, they definitely expand upon Launch Base Zone's final boss a lot more. But in Knuckles, they just kind of keep the pacing going and go, all right, this isn't the end of the game. Like, you knocked down the Death Egg, but now you got to go through Mushroom Hill and finish the battle.
Mm-hmm.
Which, that scene, though, both scenes of, like, the Death Egg falling, but then also later in the game when it rises back up, it's so cool to see in the background, like, what intense, like, mechanical sprites, too. Liam, did you get the...
Yeah, I thought that.
You got, like, the regular ending, right? Like, you didn't get all of the emeralds?
I didn't even get one.
Damn.
Dude, the emeralds are hard as shit. Those things are hard.
Yeah.
I tried my damnedest.
I don't hold you. I did not get a single emerald, and I did not make a concerted effort to. If I found one, naturally, I would give it my best go. But I did not get shit.
You're gonna have
blue balls.
You're gonna have to play that game like 3 or 4 times to really.
Yeah, which is not happening.
Dude,
you're supposed to do that shit in one run too.
Yeah.
I think I got plenty of chances. I think it was fair. I ran into a lot of spots where you can do it. I just I just didn't know the mechanics super well.
You just have to push it the second you land on the square bit, and it obviously increases in speed. So you just have to push the button.
And it felt, and I don't super blame it because again the game is a Genesis game, but the controls for it felt like
shit,
super unresponsive and janky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there always feels like a delay after you hit the button. Like you hit left, and then a second later, Sonic will be like, You know, like, and if you bring
a
Tails
little
along
weird
too,
for-
Tails is like right next to you.
which to me feels weird because of the rest of the game controls like super well.
Yeah.
So I'm not used to having to account for like input delay like that.
It is so weird to me too, because all the special stages are different. And all of them are shit, outside of Mania.
They fucking suck.
Yeah, all of them suck.
all the so yeah, you have all your special zones with the Chaos Emeralds. So I guess now we just just move straight into gameplay stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, all of the special zones, they're rough. They're really rough. I had to save scum a little bit. I had to basically go like, oh fuck, I got to Sky Sanctuary, and I'm like, I'm only missing 2 Super Emeralds. Guess I gotta reload the game and look up where these special zones are, and they're tucked. They're tucked away.
14
for sure.
So you need 7 Chaos Emeralds to get Supersonic, and 7 Super Emeralds, supercharged with the Master Emerald, to get Hypersonic.
Maybe it didn't give me as many chances as I so thought, because I thought it was like
There's 2
7.
per level, including zones.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So there's 2 per act, correct?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure 2 per act.
Yeah. So yeah, within that final stretch, luckily I was like where I last saved was like 2 levels before Sky Sanctuary. So luckily I was just within that final section of like 2 more special zone reigns. And those fuckers are hard. The Super Emerald, they're insane. There was one that literally took me like 30 minutes just like resaving and reloading because that shit's difficult. Like it's the one where Shaymin, you might recall this one where it's like a shit ton of spring balls, like the orange ones, and you have to bounce. You have to hit the pattern
in between
around
each of them.
Mm-hmm. And if you fucking bounce,
I ran into that one.
You land directly on a red one, and you're like, "Oh fuck, I guess it's over."
Yeah, that happened to me, but I didn't save scum, and I just went, well.
No, I just played through it. I didn't have enough time.
As this was my first Sonic 3 playthrough, and essentially one of my first 2D Sonic experiences, I played Mania. But I played it like on release or close to release, so it's been a while, and that's pretty much the only Sonic game I've ever played like further than like the first 2 levels. I was like, for the sake of actually getting an accurate representation of this, I'm not save scumming, I'm not life scumming. If I game over, Lamau, I'm gonna do the fucking level again.
Yeah.
You know, old school, which generally just, I think the live systems in like older platformer games is stupid and bullshit and lame.
I think we all agree on that.
And
it's
like
arcadey,
I was gonna say a leftover from arcades trying to yoink your money.
Mm-hmm.
When really, I don't know. I don't think it was necessary, but
I think,
it's what they did, so I have to judge it based off of that. And it's not a Sonic unique thing. Pretty much every platformer at the time did that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think and we all played as just regular, like we all just played as Sonic straight up.
I didn't even know how to switch to Knuckles.
Okay, so
Knuckles has its own unique zones, by the way.
Knuckles does, and he also has unique pathways. Yeah. So anytime you found like a big like rock wall that looked like it could break, and you're jumping at it as Sonic, Knuckles can just fucking plow through that shit.
He's also got
really
a
awesome.
different boss too. You fight this guy, but like better. He's the blue version of him.
You had that on lock.
I do have.
Yeah, you do have that on lock.
I need the other one. The other one's cooler.
Yeah. But Shaymin, you and I hit the hypersonic ending ? Or were you not able to?
No.
So I'm the only one that hit hypersonic. Wow.
I'm doing my own time.
I guess I'm the real gamer.
I guess I'm the real Sonic gamer that didn't save
because I spent 3 hours save scumming every special stage. So
I spent an extra 20 hours on this game.
You know what? No. I think cumulatively, I might have spent like at most an extra hour just from save scumming those final 2 special zones.
Probably.
On one hand, that's not as bad. On the other hand, the game's 5 hours long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at a certain point, because that night I beat the game after doing that, because I think we were on call, Shaymin, for a little bit of it. And I was like, oh my fucking god, I'm gonna get this hypersonic ending, and this game's gonna like it. No good. But
that was me just normally playing the next game.
Yeah, Supersonic's the only thing you need for the true ending, by the way.
No,
there is
exactly.
a final boss afterwards.
Yes. And the hypersonic final boss is really cool. You're chasing Eggman through space, slamming into him as a big, multicolored, flashing Sonic.
Michael Jackson's Genesis version of Live and Learn plays in the background.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All the beautiful sound bites of Michael Jackson going, "Ow!" You know, "Ow!" Yeah, Eggman made that noise every time I redirected a missile into his face. It was awesome. But yeah, dude, this game, like, Hypersonic and Supersonic, playing those on the stages is nuts because the game immediately becomes 3,000% slipperier, like more slippery. It's so bad. Like, Supersonic's really fun because you can just mow through enemies, but when you don't have a nice speedway in front of you and it's all platforming, I found myself like jumping and like squiggling past every platform imaginable.
You didn't do the boost forward that Hypersonic has?
I did do that, and I wanted to mention that specifically gameplay wise because you could tell
it's fucking
that's a
crazy.
little bit of a progenitor though. The flame shield and Hypersonic's boost forward, that's a progenitor of the homing attack, kind of,
it is.
for Sonic, you know? Like, that's kind of like the groundwork for it, and you could kind of see it in this game, how specifically Sonic 3 influences the franchise going forward.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Sonic 3 is hyper-influential.
Sonic 3 kind of sets a lot of the status quo of Sonic.
For good. Like, you...
Also,
for
like...
good, yeah. You met Knuckles.
Names and stuff like
Tails.
that.
Can I?
Yeah.
Can I just say, because Tails is brought up, in this game, I love him, bro, because if there are so many... The one thing I'll say, this game operates great when we're doing speed shit, but there'll be times where they're just like, yeah, do some silly little platforming, tee-hee, and then Tails is there, and you could just skip all of it.
Yeah.
And it makes me say, like, Tails in this game, I love him. It's like, thank you, dude, you saved me so much time.
Yeah.
That will not hold true.
No. Tails continues to waste my time in every game. But in this game, when I'm jumping at a boss, Tails is right there with me, you know, like, because Tails basically is just a, like, mirrored version of you, you know, like,
and
anytime you jump, he jumps a second afterward, you know, and, like, if he's flying, you jump in his hands, and I know me and my cousins used to two-player it all the time, so I just carry him throughout the stage.
Did you have a broken Mad Catz controller?
Yes. No.
I just watched a 2-hour Mad Catz controller video like last week.
Really?
Yeah, just
2 hours?
It's a history of the whole fucking company.
Wow.
And like every controller they made, like from like
are all of them broken?
Like Genesis controllers. There was, I think the Genesis controllers were fine. They tested compared to the rest of them. The Genesis controllers weren't too bad. And then everything after was essentially like almost unusable.
Dude, excellent.
But in the Genesis era, they were okay.
Are they still around?
No,
I wouldn't think so.
I didn't reach the end actually, so I don't know. But
I think it's pretty incredible how bad their controllers are, and how many companies now just make controllers.
Well, one fun fact too is GameStop controllers for a while were just Mad Catz controllers.
Yeah, that's the reason.
Yeah.
So even if you don't think you had a Mad Catz controller, you probably did. You had a GameStop controller.
That was my terrible GameCube controller.
I had a really bad PlayStation 2 controller. That's like GameStop branded, and the wires all like chewed out to shit because all I did was just sit a little too far from the TV,
and
one day it just like No, and one day it just kind of started yanking out, and I'm like, huh?
That's the life of a wire. All wires are made to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all we got for Sonic Adventure.
I mean, I just want
Sonic 3.
Sonic 3.
Sorry, I was
Just to
skipping
like run through it, like let's just give general opinions on it, like,
Yeah.
because I don't think we've shared too much of that. As far as me as a, not my first 2D Sonic experience, but my first 2D Sonic experience that's not made by people who like. Sonic Mania is a little different because it's made by people who like super give a shit.
Yeah.
And it's like a huge like love letter to the early age of the franchise, and it's made with like a couple modern conveniences in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Of course it's good. Still didn't beat it. But that's okay. But I started playing other games instead, which I am known to do sometimes with platformers, is I'll just stop playing them.
Yeah.
I think the level design was generally pretty solid. There was like one or two moments where I would be like, okay, well, this is like a little annoying on purpose, I think.
The Marble Garden Zone or whatever.
They're trying to
Yeah,
stop it. Yeah.
But by like level by level, I don't think there were any straight up bad zones at all.
No. Yeah.
I enjoyed the game. It hasn't changed my world in any way, but also I don't think very many 2D platformers of the era are changing people's worlds in the modern day like that.
No.
So it's okay. I still think this is a really fun, solid game. It's annoying that it's like impossible to play it now without doing some shenanigans.
Shenanigans, that's us! That's us! We're the Shenanigans!
Who said that?
That's us!
You're losing your mind, man. Oh, this is what happens when you're out of your apartment.
This is what 3 days no school does to a motherfucker.
Yeah, you're free.
I'm finally free.
Yeah, the chains have been unlatched and now the beast is loose.
It's like Superman busting out of the being tied up the chains.
I am free.
I'm free from
But
homework.
seriously, I think it was a really fun game. Obviously, I'll say this too, just to even more further clarify. I don't hate like 2D Sonic particularly when I'm shitting on Sonic, especially the Genesis era games are. Everyone knows they're fine.
Yeah, they're good.
At worst. I like the game. I'm probably not gonna play it anytime soon. It's nowhere near my favorite 2D like platformer. I'd rather play like, if we're counting like ones where you could shoot stuff, I'd rather play like Mega Man X.
I was literally just about to say X. X is such a good game.
Mega Man X. If comment below if you want a Mega Man X episode, because I love that shit. I own. This won't be a problem to play. The Legacy Collection.
I own the PlayStation 2 collection.
I own multiple copies of the Legacy collections. I own the PC copies. I own Xbox copies, and I own the game. I talked to you about it. I own the GameCube copy of the old collection. Fantastic franchise until fantastic franchise until it isn't anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know, it was fun. I enjoyed my time with it. Yeah, and the music was good. And Michael Jackson did some of it.
Yeah, Michael Jackson did do some of it. But then in later releases, they had to take some of it out because of his whole, the whole controversy surrounding him and Neverland Ranch and all that. Yikes! Ooh. Well, let's not worry about Michael Jackson anymore, says Sega.
But yeah, I liked it.
Yeah.
You guys?
I'll go ahead since I feel like I have some things to say. Sonic 3, I think, was one of my first ever experiences to Sonic and platforming games in general as a kid, because I had the Sonic Mega Collection on GameCube. So I would always play Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles separately from each other, because that collection, I think you had to like beat like one or two of the games.
I looked it up. You had to open both of them 20 times. Yeah.
Dude, Sega fucking sucks, dude.
You just gotta turn it on, turn it off, turn it on, turn it off. Oh!
Sega freaking sucks.
That's garbage. Are you serious? All these years. All these years.
And then you just get to play the better version.
Original hardware. But as a kid, I was obsessed with the fire shields. I was obsessed with the thunder shield. Bubble shield supremacy. That shield's awesome.
Bubble
really
shield's
good
the
for
best
tight platforming. Bubble shield has saved my ass in so many scenarios. Honestly, hot take, least favorite one is probably the fire shield, but for Lava Reef Zone, you need that shit to get through quicker because there's so many fire traps and the shields give you invincibility to certain
Which is good.
Yeah.
elements. So it's
And Bubble Shield keeps you from drowning.
yeah, and Bubble Shield keeps you from drowning, which as much as I loved Hydro City Zone as a kid, I would always drown if I didn't have Bubble Shield.
Did you guys drown this time? I was gonna say, like, was that just a childhood thing or
childhood thing?
Because I didn't.
I think it's a childhood thing, yeah. Because
Okay.
I was like Bubble. Tails died a lot though.
Tails dies all the time.
Yeah, he doesn't matter.
Tails can swim. I
he's
don't even know why
invincible.
he drowns. He's literally able to swim.
He's just following you.
I was
He's
just
just like,
making sure. I was just making sure that I didn't somehow like breeze my way through this hard zone like on accident, or it was just Lamau.
Also,
I was 5, so
did you go the low route or high route?
I
low.
tended to go low. For Hydro City, just because even now I have a hard time hitting the high route.
I always go high route because I don't like the low route.
The low route's so slow just because of all the water, and then you have to grab onto the weird fucking like rotating like.
It's easy to fall
and-
down to the low route. And that's,
It is very easy to fall.
That's
yeah.
why I took the low route.
Yeah, I just kept falling.
I took the high route for a couple seconds,
Yeah, same.
and then I wasn't anymore.
Yeah, but yeah, I love the music of the game. Hydro City and Ice Cap Zone being like two of my favorite tracks. But even like the boss themes are pretty fun. Hearing pixelated Michael Jackson say like "Go, go!"
I also
you know,
think the
like,
level theming
so
is
good.
pretty good. A lot
Yeah,
of the
each
time.
level has a very solid aesthetic. And
Mushroom
theme
Hill
and
is
vibe.
so fun.
Mushroom Hill's super fun, especially when you get into Act 2 where like or no, is it Act 1 that has more like the fall-y looking like autumny like leaves
I
and
think
shit?
that's 2.
That is Act 2.
that's
Okay,
two.
yeah. I always loved how autumny and like fall-y it looked, you know, with all the orange leaves and stuff.
Correct
like,
us in the comments if we're wrong.
yeah, but honestly, I'd say it's probably like just one of my favorite Sonic games in general because, you know,
Yeah.
I'm a big Sonic guy. I've played most of the games. I enjoy them.
This is gonna be a
And-
really funny. Oh, never mind. I thought that was the end of the sentence.
Oh no, go ahead.
This is a really funny statement to make, but it's also true. This is a very fully realized game when you take 2 games and put them together.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
When you don't
As-
do that,
as
it's not a very
individual-
full realized game.
No, with the 2 packages separate, I think that's the distinction to make. When it's the 2 separate packages, you're
They're
like
both worse
it,
than
it
Sonic
ended.
2. Yeah, they're both not
Yes.
enough.
They're both not enough. But when you put them together, it's so much. Like it's really
You get a
It's
lot.
a great
like,
product.
I think it's
If
the-
you feel
the-
like doing Angel Island Revisited.
yeah.
Because that's the only way you're playing this shit.
Top of the 2D Sonic like ladder. Yeah, I'd place it above Sonic 2 personally, just because playing as Knuckles and Tails individually as well gives some nice variety to the game. More paths that you can take. Tails is kind of easy mode because you can just fly up to the high route every time and then like fly to special zone areas a lot.
That's why Tails the GOAT. He's better than all.
Tails is the
others.
Yeah, I honestly Tails and Knuckles are like easier to play than Sonic. Like Sonic's kind of like if you wanted to really hunker down and play the game as like fully intended.
Yeah.
But if you're a dumb little
Which I
baby,
did.
play Tails. And if you're like a medium baby, play Knuckles.
Well, Knuckles also has different content, so that's a
He does
reason.
have different content, so that adds a level of replayability,
Shout
as well
out-
as collecting the emeralds and shit. So yeah, I liked it. I really enjoyed it, and honestly, I've played the game before, so of course I knew special zone locations and all that. Specifically for the Sonic 3 half. For the Sonic and Knuckles half, I had not played that enough to know where all of them were. I'm like, oh shit. Oh no.
Man.
So yeah, Shaymin?
Sonic 3 sucks.
Yeah, Sonic 3 is easily the worst Sonic game.
Yeah.
No, seriously though. I mean, it's like kind of the best 2D Sonic game. I don't think anything really tops that outside of Mania.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I feel like that's cheating.
It's not, but like you have to consider
It's
that it's made in a wildly different context than Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
Mm-hmm.
But it is better.
Yeah, and I think there's so many cool additions to the franchise. I think the introduction of Knuckles is awesome. He's probably the second best Sonic rival. And it's easily the best introduction to Sonic, I think. At least 2D Sonic. If you're gonna give it to somebody.
Yeah, I'd say so. Either Sonic Mania or Sonic 3 and Knuckles is probably like the best introduction to Sonic for anybody that wants to play the classic 2D.
I would say Mania because you can get it.
That's
Mania's easier to get. And Origins isn't the worst package ever. I'm not gonna pretend like it isn't, but you just don't get the soundtrack, which is my main complaint.
Sonic 3.
That's
pretty bad though.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Removing that is like a huge if any other game, not even just for Sonic. Like if you did that, that's like
you get a
deal
different
breaker.
one. That's technically the intended one. That was the one in Sonic 3 for a lot of the stages. You just don't get the MJ
Michael
ones.
Jackson bits. Yeah. Which arguably are some of the best tracks. I fucking hate what is it? Carnival Zone or whatever?
Yeah.
Dude, I fucking
Carnival
hate
Night.
that zone. Oh my
Are
god.
we, like the original soundtrack for it?
No. Just the stage. I forgot to go over that.
You know what? That's a
fucking
fair point. I'm gonna change
that
I'm gonna change that statement I said earlier where there isn't a bad stage.
That zone's fucking bad.
Actually,
That
you know what?
reminded me.
I'm retconning that.
Dude, I hate that zone.
You're right,
the up and down thing. Oh my god.
Yeah, I had to look up how that worked.
Yeah,
it just, like,
as a kid, I would get stuck there. I'd time out
like-
because
I
I
was-
wouldn't know what to do.
I was literally like, what the fuck do I do with this thing? How do I control this and make it do anything?
I love this YouTube video. The first thing that I see, Carnival Night Zone ruined my life.
Dude, that literally almost happened to me. I almost
Ruined
quit.
your life.
Yeah, it's no casino.
No, it is no casino night zone. No.
Kind of made me reconsider that episode.
yeah, same.
I'm like, you know what?
And when we talk about the next game, it's gonna make me reconsider.
All right, let's get on to it.
It's,
So,
yeah,
All right, next
Yeah.
game. Hold on 1 second though. I
Okay.
left my drink like all the way the fuck over here.
man,
There I have a whole bag of Doritos unopened. Let's go.
you're gonna chomp on that as we record.
Yeah, Haley's eating strawberries.
I haven't eaten strawberries.
Yeah. Yeah, guys. Let's just. Oh yeah.
Oh god,
Average.
gamer moment.
Strawberries are gamer food.
That's true. Nice healthy gamer.
You're
food.
goddamn right they are. I bet Sonic Adventure 2 was on a Doritos bag at some point.
Oh, most definitely. Let me look that up. Let me see if that's a thing. Anyway,
So
yeah, we're talking about Sonic Adventure 2.
Yeah, we're talking about Sonic Adventure 2. That. All right, so at this point in time,
Tomorrow.
you're so
man.
So at this point in time in Sega as a company, they're struggle busting right now.
At this point in Sega as a company, they pretty much are about to give
They
up.
have made so many bad decisions after the release of Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
Yeah.
They released
They had
two
a couple of
consoles
hiccups.
that both kind of sucked. They got the
Yeah.
Dreamcast out finally. The last Sonic game beforehand was Sonic Adventure, which was good. It wasn't enough to save an entire console, but it was good. The bigger problem, obviously, was like Sonic 3D Blast and all the other shit they didn't do. They didn't have a Sonic game for like fucking years.
They didn't have a good Sonic game up for like.
Yeah,
forever.
Sonic 3D Blast, Sonic Spinball, and Knuckles Chaotix for the 32X. Sonic's. You know what?
I hate Knuckles Chaotix, by the way. You want to talk
that
about
game's
a bad
pretty
2D
rough.
Sonic game?
Yeah, no, that game's rough. That game's rough.
Soundtrack's good.
The soundtrack is good. I think that's a kind of consistent factor with a lot of Sonic games is, man, this game fucking sucks, but man, I could bop to the I think we had an entire. Oh, go ahead.
Okay, I'll go. Because mine's super fast. That's when I say I'll be talking about Final Fantasy with people, and people will be like, "Yeah, it's got to like say it's like one I don't like." They're like, "Yeah, it's got a good soundtrack." Though I'm like, "There's no such thing as a Final Fantasy game with a bad soundtrack. That doesn't mean anything."
Yeah,
they all have good soundtracks.
That's true.
I feel like that's kind of the case for Sonic most of the time. Most of the time, Sonic has
recently
at the
they've been
very
dropping
least
some
an
stinkers.
okay. Yeah, I feel like Frontiers has good songs in it, but it's not a good overall soundtrack. You know,
dude, I saw
like that vinyl we found
the
of
vinyl
just ambience.
They had a vinyl of Sonic Frontiers, and there wasn't a single version of like the fucking rock songs they have for the boss fights. Not a single track. All of it was just ambience. I'm like, why would I buy this? Why can't I hear?
All of Sonic at Frontiers is just ambience because you're just running. You know, it's just wide open fields.
Sonic Breath of the Wild.
All right.
It's just But anyway.
Yeah, Sonic Adventure 2. Now let's not pretend that Sonic Adventure 1 was perfect. I love that game. I think that game's great gameplay-wise.
Probably sucks.
The bigger problem with it is like the story is so fucking laughable. Like at least presented wise. I don't think the story's bad per se, but they just present it in such a bad way with the voice acting sucking and like
the voice acting's
the
really
audio
bad,
balance being terrible, and the animation's god awful. The animation is so puppet-like. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, the
Sonic,
big moving lips.
Sonic Adventure 2 don't have those problems.
I'm not sure I'm with you.
They're better.
The audio
They're
issues,
way better.
Generally, yes. I'd say the voice acting tends to be a bit better, but there are a couple of stinkers, like
with tails.
like Knuckles going,
Oh,
rats.
Knuckles is pretty funny. I think it's funny as
There are
shit.
definitely audio issues, and the fact that the lines run into each other all the fucking time.
For whatever reason, so I was playing the Steam version of Adventure 2. And I don't know if it's just me, but anytime I'd load up a cinematic, anytime they would load up, the lines would always come out super early, and then it would get to the character, their mouth would move, and then the next character would start talking.
I think that's the Steam version, because that didn't happen to me. The line readings were still really jankily placed, but they happened when I think they were supposed to.
Yeah.
It's just that, like, they're running into each other all the time, and they're not supposed to be, I don't think.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes
And let's not overhype the voice acting here.
What are you talking about?
If this is a solid upgrade over the first game, then I don't want to hear the first game.
The first game's really bad. The first game's
This
really
game's
bad
voice acting's also not very good.
No. What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? Don't you love?
All right, so I think we'll get.
Go ahead, Shaymin.
I will defend the way a lot of the characters do their lines and stuff like that, but I think there's some funny reads and stuff like that. I think some characters are worse than others too. I like Shadow's read-ins and Sonic's read-ins overall.
I actually hate Shadow's readings.
You hate Shadow?
I think it kind of. I liked them ironically, but it was so fucking lame.
No, I do think it's funny. I do think it's really funny.
Like,
You're the baker.
I did feel
and here's the thing, he also has a little bit of there's later voice actors I think go a little better into the further edgelord things, like you're the faker, like that.
He
But
doesn't.
this one has
commit
almost a little
into
bit of a in it too, at like a little like weird stupid bass in it. It's like you're the faker, like where it sounds almost like
You're
he's
the faker.
slurring it a little too.
I think I just have a.
Shadow's drunk the entire game.
I think I just have a personal attachment to this voice, but I think it's my favorite version of Shadow.
I thought it was ridiculous, and it took me out of the character a lot.
Aw. Fair enough.
Damn.
To the point where like I kind of don't give a fuck about the character out unless I view it from like an in-text perspective. Like go like, yeah, so if I wrote this down, yeah, I think I like this.
Yeah, if
But,
I
like,
read this in a comic
in-game-
book, this would be kind of cool.
But in game, I can't stop laughing at this.
I also
the whole
think
fucking time.
I guess we're mainly on story, so we're gonna do that first.
Yeah, run through it.
The game's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
game
Too. Like,
is
yeah,
fucking-
the plot was ridiculous, and like the last one was ridiculous.
The last one was ridiculous too. I think this one turns it up in a better way.
I don't even think it's a flaw, but the claim,
funny
like,
as
yeah,
shit.
like this one's ridiculous.
The other one's ridiculous for different reasons. Because like, you know, you got Big the Cat walking around and shit. You gotta spend like 2 hours with him. This one
before you can reach the final part of the story, because you have to play as Big the Cat and fish for a while. Well, with this one, at least, it's like mission by mission. You play as the hero team, you play as the villain team,
and
it's much more like concrete, you know. I feel like the story flows better in this game,
it does.
at least like from a gameplay perspective.
I think
Than exiting out into a menu, selecting character from wheel, going to character story.
obviously,
And in Sonic Adventure 1, they always had preamble right before the character's story.
they do have it in 2 as well.
That's true. They have
You
a
just
little
have to
bit of
load it up.
preamble.
You have to load up the game, and then we'll do the same preamble. These ones are better too. The other ones are a lot more. I think they're written worse. I think that's my main complaint with them.
A Sonic Adventure 1?
Yeah.
I think. Do you think that's like a early like localization issue, or is it just bad?
Localization, 100%.
Yeah.
I don't know how good it is in Japanese, but localization's pretty bad in that game.
Well, then the answer's I don't know.
Yeah,
But I know for a fact. I don't know. They suck at a lot of other things. Why wouldn't they suck at the translation of that text specifically?
Oh my god, you're right though.
They're so bad at everything else. And why? You know, is it
I don't
really
like
that crazy
Sonic.
to think?
Localization at that time.
That's fair.
But
Adventure 1 and 2 is where we finally get the official transition from Robotnik to Eggman.
Yeah,
over
that
here in
one.
the States. So
Yeah, that's true. I
You
think.
explained that because of I know now because I asked, but in case the audience doesn't know, explain how what that change was and why.
So basically, in America, they called him Robotnik. In Japan, they were called Eggman. And eventually, we were like, okay, well, we gotta pick one. So they settled on Eggman. Adventure, they introduces like a story element where Sonic and Tails just make fun of him because he looks like a
yeah,
fucking
tired of
idiot.
his shit.
fat shame him.
He's so tired of his shit.
And then
It's like,
eventually
okay,
he's
look
like,
here, lard
I'm
ass.
Eggman. In the
Yeah,
next
literally.
game.
Yeah. He adopts the Eggman moniker. He makes it
And
his
makes a
own.
theme
And you know
song
what?
for it.
Honestly,
Yeah.
no, the theme
He
song just
bumps
came
his
with
theme
him.
song every time. Yeah.
The theme song.
I'm reclaiming this.
The theme
Yeah,
song
literally.
in Adventure is also Eggman too. So
Yeah.
somebody made that theme song for him.
Yeah, that's
He commissioned
it. He commissioned it.
He commissioned Michael Jackson.
I am the Eggman. Ow! Ow!
Yeah, let's just
But
go over
yeah.
the characters. Just one at
Yeah,
a
character's story.
time.
So again, it's split into a very clear hero-villain campaign. The first one you probably are playing is the hero campaign.
Yeah, Sonic is arrested because they think Sonic robbed a bank and like stole some crazy artifacts and shit. That was actually Shadow, which is
Spoiler.
no, that happens in the first.
It's
level.
revealed in the first level.
Yeah.
Which is funny to me. I think that's a weird story position considering they don't look all that alike. Now,
All hedgehogs look the same.
the main,
Yeah,
I
they're
think that's a
hedgehog
little bit of a
races.
stretch. I'm okay with it personally. The main reason why is because of his original design, where he looked a lot more like an evil Sonic.
Yeah.
With, like,
main reason I am fine with it is because of the game already establishes a tone of it being very cartoony and ridiculous that I don't really like take that element super seriously enough to pick it
Sonic's
apart.
first line in the game? He's like, no something or movies, talking about
like-
cheap flights,
yeah, like-
and then he jumps out of a helicopter.
service, yeah.
He's like, talk
we're-
about
we're-
low budget flights. No,
Yeah,
no
like
fucking movies.
we're clearly not in a very serious world. I can suspend my disbelief on that.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
And what was it? Sonic's arrested by
Gun.
George
George government.
Yeah, they're-
The United States government sorta task force to deal with sorta Sonic and Eggman and all them.
they have an
called
acronym. I'm
Gun.
too lazy to look
Yeah,
up.
it's like it's GUN gun.
But they're pretty funny. I like the idea that they're constantly at war with Eggman and Sonic, and they're
Yeah.
losing both fronts.
They're both too powerful.
I mean, to be fair,
They are.
Dude, it's just like Godzilla X Kong. It's like just let them duke it out.
Eggman
Let them
made
fight.
the Death Star
yeah.
a couple
dude.
games ago. I can understand them losing that.
Eventually,
Yeah.
it leads up to obviously Eggman. They have a few more encounters with Shadow and Sonic just to introduce them. Amy's in the story. She doesn't do anything in the story until the very end.
No, yeah, she's
Yeah.
just kind of there until
She-
like she needs to.
The asshole
gives
of
us-
her
she gives us
being on the
at the end.
boat, dude. She's just on the boat for no fucking reason.
Yeah. Yeah, this game's story is like so wacky.
I- I'm okay with the wacky bullshit.
I love how Eggman's big fucking laser thing, like rocket, takes off from a pyramid in
No,
Egypt.
he just has a
Like,
base
no
in
reason.
Egypt. Of course he
Oh,
has a
that's right,
fucking
that's right,
base
that's
in
right.
Egypt. He built two, egg carriers.
Yeah, and you know what? You're right, because in Sonic 3 and Knuckles, we also got an Egypt kind of themed stage with Lava Reef Zone. So you know what? You're right. You're right. My bad.
This bro has so much money.
Dude, he's
Build
loaded.
all this shit.
It's
You know
from
how
his
much-
grandfather, something Robotnik.
I don't
can't
even
remember.
think Elon Musk could be building all this shit.
Dude,
He is basically
Like-
Elon Musk.
He is insanely rich.
I don't-
Dr. Eggman is Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk combined.
I don't know.
Jeff Bezos is bald. Elon
Well,
Musk's
he-
evil scientist.
He has his own military complex, dude. He just takes everything that he needs.
Yeah.
He has
And-
his own fucking army.
I mean, basically, yeah, moving from Sonic
Oh yeah, they go to
and
space.
doing the
That's
whole
where
city
climax
escape,
is.
and yeah, they all just head to space. Like this game's plot takes you through a bunch of
Sonic's-
different locations, but it's honestly very simple on paper. It's just
Sonic's, especially the hero campaign, is very simple. I'd
Yes.
say the villain campaign has a lot more narrative meat going on.
yeah, it has a lot more tooth to it. Like there's a lot
Um,
more to sink your teeth
It's
into.
because
for sure.
the hero campaign, the characters are kind of just reacting to what's going on. Knuckles is like,
Yeah,
I just
they
gotta
don't really
find the Master
even know what's
Emerald.
happening until the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all just
They're essentially just chasing after Eggman and Shadow
Mhm.
the whole game.
Yeah.
And then they
too.
find him, and they go to space, and they
Fight a
fight.
lizard.
hmm
Well, that's like the big reveal at the end. That's where the actual.
Yes. That's where the
happens.
finale is. Yeah.
Generally, there's the. God, I skipped ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
You're fired.
I got jambled. Obviously, the initial thing of Eggman getting a weapon from his grandfather, Gerald Robotnik, that weapon being also an egg-shaped laser Death Star.
A conveniently exactly Eggman shaped.
Yeah.
Their genetics are strong. They looked identical, and there's like a generation between them.
Yeah, that's his grandfather, not his dad. That's his grandfather. Whole generation between them, and just same mustache and nose combo.
Like, they look
same
exactly
big circular.
the same.
And
Yeah.
and you know what? He blows up the moon.
Yeah.
For no
'Cause
reason.
He misses his wife tails. You know.
Yeah, I do think it's really funny, honestly. That as a threat there. Sonic goes to talk to the president and steal his data.
Yeah, the president plays a big role in this game.
No, he doesn't.
The
There's
president
no
of the United
security detail.
States. Yeah,
So-
with no security detail. President of the United States is just there all the time.
He just leaves his sunroof
Uh,
open.
Yeah.
They have they have some voice lines of the president's secretary.
She looks like Barbie the way she's modeled.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
like the help menu and stuff. Like they have a lot of goodies in the game too. That
Yes,
you're able to
they
unlock.
have a lot of like
goodies.
fun like multiplayer
Extras.
things
We'll
and a lot
get
of
we'll
stuff.
get to that later.
We'll
in
get
the
into
game.
that.
But
yeah.
We're good there.
Yeah, generally final confrontation between all of them. Eggman tricks I think this is probably the most defining moment in the game, where Sonic confronts Eggman. This is the final fucking confrontation. Eggman's like, I'm gonna fucking kill them. I'm gonna win. I'm gonna become king of the world. Holds Amy hostage by gunpoint.
Yeah, literally.
I'm gonna launch you to space, shit ass.
I'm gonna kill this. I'm gonna kill this hedgehog.
And then he's like, where's that, so what you doing with that fucking fake emerald? And Tails is like, what fake emerald? How'd you know?
Yeah.
He's like, oh man, you do? Now I do. Oh man.
Which is pretty funny, because he was just fucking with them, too. He knew the whole time. In the Dark Story, it's
Yeah.
revealed that he's like, oh, there's 2 emeralds.
Yeah.
He's
yeah.
just doing it to fuck with Sonic.
Yeah, and I feel like very interestingly, like character-wise, that kind of hubris is what helps bring Eggman down too, you know? And that's the thing with a lot of later Eggman appearances, is that his own hubris and ego kind of leads to his downfall.
So
It's very
this time,
In
interesting.
the
I don't...
original games, it was just Spin Dash led to his downfall.
Yeah, the original games, I just had to jump at him a bunch, and that killed him.
It's just like, fuck.
To be
He's
fair,
like, oh no, jumping.
he's been stepping up his shit. Like from
Oh,
the
yeah.
first game. You remember his fucking robots in the first game?
Yeah, the big
No.
swinging wrecking ball on the bottom of his thing as the first boss. Yeah, he's gone a long way. He's just blowing up the moon now. That's crazy.
So unnecessary too. Just
Yeah.
did not. I like. Oh, you have a giant space laser? I believe you. You didn't have to hit anything
Yeah,
with
you
it.
didn't have to blow up
You could
half the moon.
You could have just fired it at nothing, and I'm like, okay, he's got it.
Yeah.
He's got a
You have
laser.
to ruin the tides at the same time. Come on.
You have to. I think of how many like of the chunks of the moon are gonna like come into Earth's atmosphere now.
Oh,
'cause he
man.
blew it up.
Chunks of the moon take out major cities across the world. Oh no.
Like, dude,
Eggman's declared World War III.
he just didn't have to do that.
Yeah, he did. Honestly.
He basically did. He was kind of like,
he doesn't care.
give me $1 kajillion and then
I
I'll-
want the world. I want to rule this world.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But just showing the laser would have done enough to me. If I was the president, I'd be like, okay, he's got it.
Dude, yeah, he's got something worse than a nuke.
I believe him.
Yours. I'm amazed they didn't immediately. Sonic didn't let him surrender, to be fair.
Yeah, that's true.
Said,
Sonic
no,
was
we're
like,
gonna whoop
you
his
know,
ass.
I'm gonna get him. That's Sonic the entire game. He's like, no, he's
he's cooked.
mine.
He's
He's
cooked.
mine. But yeah, I mean, that's basically the hero story. There's really not much more meat there besides like the Amy
Yeah,
stuff.
Sonic.
There's one moment that I called out as being funny where Tails, like, I forget even what he was asked to do, but he's like, this is the first time Sonic has asked me to do anything! And I'm just like, I barely played these games and I know that's not true.
Yeah, there's some wild like,
He's asked you to do shit in this very game.
and the thing in the last game too, in Sonic Adventure 1,
that was
at
all
the end
about
of the
Tails'
story,
independence.
it's all about Tails becoming independent and doing his own thing, and then in this game they're like, let's forget that.
The whole thing is
Let's
like,
make him a little baby boy.
oh, Eggman's destroying Station Square. Where the fuck's Sonic? Oh, I gotta deal this. I'm gonna stop him. And then he does.
Yeah, exactly. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first time Sonic's ever asked me to do anything.
To be-
I can't do it wrong.
He asked you to find the president like 3 levels ago.
Yeah,
That was,
literally.
that was very important to the mission.
He did kill the shit out of Eggman, though.
That's true. Yeah, and that
He
1v1,
didn't kick his ass.
Tails whooped his ass.
The 1v1 between Rouge and Knuckles.
Dude, that shit's so stupid. That shit's so dumb.
That was such a fucking...
What a nightmare fight! Just because I was stupidly like, easy, run up and just like punch her in the
Not
back
for
of the head.
Shaymin.
No,
Not for Shaymin.
I died a lot actually that time.
Shaymin took like 10 tries.
Dude,
Dude,
when I was
I
doing
just
Rouge
kept
versus
jumping and
Knuckles,
drilling down
I
into
started
her.
doing that. After I did that, it was fine. But earlier on, she kept flying all the way up, and I couldn't fucking find her. And then she like did that back
That's it.
fucking.
Spammed her special move like
And-
5 times in a
And
row.
I just couldn't do anything besides run for my fucking life and try to find her.
In
And
my
it's so
playthrough-
disorienting.
In my playthrough, I never even saw her special attack. That's how fast I killed
you
her.
know
I
what?
saw
I've
that
never
move and I
had
was like,
problems with that
she
fight
could
before.
do that. I was like, she can-
I've
Yeah,
never
is that-
fucking had problems with that fight until now.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm not kidding. I
And I
watched the whole thing.
steamrolled
It took
every
him, like,
other
10
fucking
tries.
fight. I steamrolled every
Damn.
fight. That's funny.
You didn't
as shit.
steamroll Shadow.
No, I didn't steamroll Shadow. You are right.
Oop.
Shadow took even longer.
Yeah.
Sorry to dox you, but you were bad at this game.
I didn't mention it. I'm actually really bad at Sonic. I'm also bad at Sonic 3 too. I'm bad at that game too. I'm bad at video games in general.
It was really funny because of like you this is like your franchise, and I just came in absolute tourist and showed you what was what.
Showed me what was what.
Oh my god! You came in and you cleaned house. You were like. Oh my god!
That is fair.
Oh my
But
god!
I did do better.
I was like, what the fuck are you doing, bro?
I did do better on the
Oh, shit.
Knuckles levels. I think we're gonna talk about gameplay now.
Well, we didn't even cover the villain story too much.
No, we can.
Yeah.
There's not too.
We can't.
We just.
That-
I feel
that
like it's
one's
important to just
mainly-
kind of cover Shadow's background because I think
Yeah.
that's what it mainly sort of is.
That
Yeah,
one's
the
kind of
Rouge stuff
revolved
is
around
cool,
Shadow.
but not really cool.
Yeah, she's a weird government spy. I don't know.
Yeah, she's like kind
Which,
of a double agent,
To
sort
be
of.
fair, I didn't see coming. I did kind of dox him, like, oh, she went along with this evil plan, like, very quickly with zero hesitation to like blow up the Earth for like money.
Yeah.
But then it was like, oh, she's a secret agent. I'm like, oh, either I wasn't paying attention and there was a
So-
sign for that, or like,
she's.
I
only,
guess they got me.
She's like partially a secret agent. She still also only cares about money. She's just.
Yeah.
She's like. She's the Catwoman.
She's like a-
I'm double crossing these people too.
Yeah. I think that's a very good way to put it. Like she's like the Catwoman to like Knuckles'
Knuckles.
dumb himbo Batman. Really stupid Batman. He's like, I need to find my emerald pieces. Salacious woman. Oh, no.
Gotta
Yeah.
find them.
I gotta find the Master Emeralds.
Eggman, I think, actually, for his plot is very interesting. Like, not a lot happens till the end, but in the end, he, like, kind of sees how much he kind of fumbled on this
Yeah.
and how, like, the world's going to explode, and he's like, guys,
I
My
can't
fault.
destroy the world.
my fault, but we gotta stop this.
Yeah.
Let's team up.
Yeah.
Let's team
So-
up.
Yeah, he's like, here's the emerald. Sonic Shadow, you go deal with it.
So, essentially, the whole ending revolves around like Shadow's actual memories and stuff like that.
Mhm.
There's a lot of cool tension in the Dark story about like he doesn't really know what the fuck he is. He only
Yeah.
has this memory of Maria telling him to destroy everything.
Yeah, Shadow's
That he made the fuck up.
Shadow's Wolverine.
Maria,
Shadow's really just kind of like the Wolverine of
Shadow,
the Sonic franchise.
I need you to kill everybody. Okay,
Maria.
fair enough, honestly.
And he kind of like does have a little bit of a Weapon X where he's like, you know, I don't think we really get to see it in this game too much, but like when he breaks out of the gun facility or whatever, like, you know, we see that in like so many cartoons and other adaptations. He kind of Weapon X's it, you know. He's Wolverine.
Yeah,
He's ultimate life form, genetically, you know, altered. Kind of an edgelord, ends up being kind of like a lancer, like anti-hero. Like sometimes helps the heroes out, sometimes he's like doing his own thing, you know.
I'm going to shoot you with my gun.
I'm gonna shoot you with my gun now.
God, thank God he doesn't have a gun in this game. He better not have a gun in the movie. Actually, yeah.
I hope he has a gun in the movie.
He's gonna have a gun in the movie.
I literally hope he has a gun in the movie.
He's gonna be
He's
voiced
got
by
Keanu Reeves.
Reeves.
Yeah, that's fair.
I really hope he has a
take
gun.
out a gun agent and just fucking cap him in the head.
No, because literally there's
he's
just
got
nothing
John
I
Wick.
can think of that's funnier than just him to have a real pistol.
Yeah, and then also he's played by Keanu, so they're gonna make a John Wick Joker too. They're gonna do it. They're gonna make him John Wick.
He's gonna at least drive a motorcycle.
But yeah, Shadow breaks out of his facility, teams up with Eggman. They're both like, all right, well, our mission is to fuck shit up, so let's team up. They team up with Rouge the Bat because of, I don't know, they needed 3 characters.
Rouge was there
for this campaign.
Rouge was there.
Yeah.
She serves as a treasure hunter.
She serves as a treasure hunter. They, set up essentially the events of what happens directly before you play the Sonic levels, or like the hero campaign levels, sorry. Then near the end, the world's about to blow up and Shadow's like,
Maria.
Well,
and then Annie's like, Shadow, please don't destroy the human race. Give them a chance at happiness. And he's like, that's what she said. Fuck.
Dude, no.
I had it completely backwards.
so what it is was during the live stream thing that wasn't really shown to Shadow specifically, but to all the other characters. Gerald revealed that he changed Shadow's code, memories or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
He altered Shadow's memories and whatever, and
I don't know. It's funny.
Evil.
He's like, I'm going to use Shadow to destroy everything, basically.
Yeah,
But then
using this creature,
remembers and he gets over it.
Yeah, using this creature, this creation.
He's just not evil.
That was
by
made
nature.
to made to bring life, and he's the ultimate life form. And they do some weird shit in expanded lore where it's like, he was made to cure every disease ever. It's like, huh? but like,
The hedgehog that goes fast.
The hedgehog that goes fast. What does he do? It's like, I don't know. His blood's like magic. It's like, what?
It's so weird how they base them off of a hedgehog. I think it's because Gerald was obsessed with the echidnas.
Yeah,
but that's not a hedgehog.
No, they have
echidna
in Sonic Adventure.
and all that.
They talked about Supersonic and prophecies and shit.
Yeah. There's a whole like echidna prophecy, and I guess Shadow's made as like, let's make a goody two shoes super hedgehog boy, but then humans didn't like that, and then shot a little girl.
Let's gaslight him.
They did just kill a child. That was pretty fun.
They did shoot a girl. Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, then Shadow snaps out of it because of Amy gave him a mid speech.
The most mid speech.
She asked him very nicely to please save the world.
Yeah, the only reason was because he triggered his memories. He's like,
because she said Martha.
What, Maria?
And he's like, why did you say that name?
Why did you say that name? Yeah, literally. They definitely Superman it.
And then every character teams up. Shadow and Sonic beat a dumb fuck space lizard thing.
It is.
The world is saved.
That's the
but
prototype.
Shadow dies.
That's Shadow.
Yeah, that big lizard. That's the prototype.
That's
to Shadow.
Liquid Snake.
That's the Liquid Snake.
That's not a hedgehog at all.
Shadow's Solid Snake.
Yeah, I don't fucking know how they got that.
How'd they fuck up that bad?
They got those.
Yeah. Fucking Gerald Robotnik's like, wait a minute, this isn't a hedgehog. He sees a giant lizard. He's like, maybe this is a bad idea.
The funniest part to me is like when it just fucking chaos controls out of there.
Yeah.
Like,
when it it's conscious enough to go chaos control. It like teleports into space, and you're like, huh?
How smart was that thing?
On story notes and how I received it, I honestly didn't give a shit about the hero story at all.
Not fair.
The
But the villain story
has.
I admit, I do fuck with it.
Yeah,
I fucked with the plot. I think it was presented horribly. I don't think it was well presented at all. But like, I fucked with them trying.
Yeah, do you think it would have just been better if they just gave you like one straight story and you start with like Eggman, then Shadow into Sonic, and you just kind of like keep building the threads as you go along, like just a more straightforward narrative?
Or do you
I
think it
think
would have
that
been
would
better?
work. I think the only issue would be that the level pacing would probably suck ass that way.
Yeah, because then you would have like 2 treasure hunting missions back to back with Knuckles and Rouge, and then you'd be like,
two
fucking kill
mech
me now.
missions.
I think
I'd
the
rather
real
die.
problem's, Sonic and Friends, they're pretty static in this game. I
Well,
don't
again,
necessarily
they
think
don't-
them being
they don't-
static's a bad thing.
There's the song "Live and Learn," and we were saying, Sonic and team lived, and then the villain team just learned.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what that song basically represents. Like, the 3 heroes of the story really don't
They don't
Change at
need
all.
anything.
much, like they don't develop, and it's just kind of like your Sonic 3 and Knuckles trio.
The only thing they really get is like kind of admiration for their villains, I think.
Yeah, there's more camaraderie there, I think, eventually, but
Towards the
especially
end.
between like Knuckles and Rouge, and then
Even at
Sonic
the
and
end.
Shadow.
Eggman
the
and
end.
Tails, they start talking. Eggman's like,
That's true.
Well, I think the most interesting part
Yeah.
is how Eggman really does not even just go like, all right, we'll work together, but I'll kill you after. He's just like, guys, I fucked up. We gotta stop this, and he just puts everything to the side, and like all grudges are off. He's like, guys, this is the plan. Like, and he orchestrates the plan, pretty much.
No, like
he did it.
It's a very interesting direction to take Eggman in the game, and I think that's a very effective choice that they made. It's just that everything before then's kind of just like
And
a cutscene
afterwards,
and then just some wacky ass Sonic stage.
and the thing too is afterwards they don't immediately whoop his ass or throw him in jail or anything. Like, they just like sit there and reflect for a while,
They
and
just
they
talk
don't
to each
come at
other.
him or anything. They're just like all together like, shit, that happened.
Shadow's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude,
But yeah,
Shadow's dead,
like,
R.I.P.
I just think it's interesting that they didn't like immediately, whoop his ass or like put him in handcuffs and stuff. They're just like, oh man, well thank God that didn't that didn't go that way.
I think it's really funny how Shadow is kind of given like the Metal Sonic treatment of like Sonic CD, where it's like introduce really cool character, kill them, and then it's like, oh, people really like this character and their design. All right, we'll bring him
he's
back.
getting a third-person shooter spin-off.
So
I guess he's getting his own game. I guess he's getting brought back in Sonic Heroes.
And Shadow's story is good. I just think the presentation makes it so that I don't actually emotionally get invested in it. Again, I think it's really good on paper, and I look forward to the movie because I think the movie's obviously going to do a way better job
Yeah.
than this. But the cutscenes and how everything was shown, and don't even think that this, I think, is even necessarily a bad thing, because I think the bad elements of this game are equally as iconic,
Yeah.
and the jank of it is equally a part of the identity.
Yeah.
But it does come at the consequence of, like, I literally don't care.
Yes. Yeah, man. I think we can move into gameplay and just talk on that for a bit.
I also just want to say, too, the cutscenes, some people are like, it's old. There are some games around this time that are just as old. This is slightly unfair because it's a Square Enix game, but Final Fantasy X came out this same year, and it has cutscenes that still put cutscenes
that's true.
in the modern day to shame. That game is gorgeous, and I will
game's
be
crazy.
fair to the voice acting, though. There's some voice acting jank with that too, so there's not much you can do. But it's. I think the age thing can only give it so much of an excuse. I think it was, even for the time, a little jank. But also, it's a platformer. It's not expected to even go this far. I respect that it gave it a shot. It just didn't stick the landing to seriously invest me in any way.
Yeah, that's super fair. Yeah, I feel like it's very hard to get invested in the story, especially talking about gameplay stuff. Lightly transitioning to that. Every section that I get to play is Sonic or Shadow, I'm like, all right, yeah,
Woohoo!
the game. And then
the
every
rest of
mech
the game
stage,
sucks.
I'm like, all right, just kind of depends on the level layout. Some of the space station shit,
Dude, the space station levels are kind of bullshit. That's probably the
Unfortunately,
worst.
Blow my
The
shit.
fucking-
No matter what character you are,
the
especially in Hero
vacuums.
Story.
Mhm.
Dude, I was
I think
literally like
Tails is
stuck for an
just-
hour.
Tails is the
Playing-
hardest.
This is
Tails' space station area is the hardest, but Knuckles is like treasure hunting. I literally
Knuckles'
my time for that
treasure
stage
hunting
was
almost
20
made me
minutes.
give up.
My time for the fucking space station for the meteor field was 20 minutes on the
Mine was,
clock.
Meteor
mine was
herd.
33 or something like that.
Dude,
I got 50.
That
So
shit took
this
too
is
long.
this is where I'm okay. So I think I've been treating this game very fairly so far. This is where the gloves the gloves kind of come off.
yeah, my Sonic gloves and my Sonic shoes come off.
Unfortunately, I regret to say it, only about a third of this game is good. I think that I just have to come out just being honest. Only about a third of this game is good.
Playing it again recently, yeah, playing it for this podcast, I could double down on that, and I could say, dude,
Only a third of this game.
fuck. The mech stages, it really just depends on the level.
There's
I
some-
feel, because sometimes it's fun, sometimes I'm like, just
No, I-
blasting everything. The treasure hunting stages is where it really fucking started to blow my shit, because I'm like, where is anything? Where is this shit? Why are these things so far away? Why is there like those stages took me the longest amount of time, and it was just like the most tedious amount of time.
So
Yeah,
I'll say this: the mech stages, I think I like them even less than you because for me, I don't think it depends on the level layout because for me, it's not like there are branching paths for them or anything. It's hold forward
It's
and just
just on-
keep hitting the
yeah.
fucking button because
That's
it
fair.
auto
It's on
locks on.
rails. Yeah.
You can't fucking. It's literally just like this might as well be cutscene because like I'm not doing anything. Nothing is happening here in an interesting way, and occasionally like there's the stage, like the Egypt stage, where like okay, cool, I can finally do some jank ass platforming.
Yes.
Um,
yeah.
But like other than that, it's hold forward, spam the button, and it's gonna auto lock onto everything and kill it. So it's the most to me that's the most boring part. The treasure hunting stage are more frustrating because of again it's the format for every single treasure hunt stage is there's 3 items that you have to go find, and early on I actually fucked with these stages hard because of the levels are small enough to where 3 makes sense.
Yeah.
But the problem
But
is
they keep getting
the
bigger.
further you go, the fucking like we were saying, the asteroid stage for Knuckles is so fucking big, and there's
Like,
still only 3.
There's like basically 4 sections to it as well. Like you have ground, then like the little kind of tower, and then platforms floating, and then an entire like floating segment above that.
Dude,
And
Where you
those
have to just, like,
3
wall
fucking
climb.
emeralds could be anywhere there, and sometimes
the
they just kind of
hints
they're
are
randomly.
so fucking funny for that level.
Dude, the hints are so bad.
They're
Oh my
literally the
God.
hints literally for that level. The gimmick is that they're all backwards.
It's in the meteor.
And
They're all
like,
reversed.
yeah, like one of them. So there was like a spring that was in like one of those little star like section things, right? And the hint was there's a spring with a star,
Thanks, bud.
and I'm like, what? What?
And it's a shame. It's a real shame because I actually think Knuckles levels control great.
Check out that hint I sent. My game.
Oh yeah, let me
Checking out that hint.
read this shit.
Let's check that hint out.
Let me-
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they are spelled backwards.
Not,
oh,
The
sometimes they're
con-
spelled backwards or the locations backwards. So their
The
locations.
container
reversed.
that is
sometimes
not
it say it's high, it's low.
loading. Yeah, the container
It's
that's
bad.
not loading.
It's bad. That didn't help me at all.
I think the Knuckles levels actually control really well. I think mechanically it's really solid, except for the fact that the levels are so big and there's only 3 MacGuffins. If they made it, if I could have been in the dev room, I would have just said with each subsequent treasure hunting level, add another.
yeah.
Look,
That there's way less time spent just wandering around looking, and the radar doesn't go off until
radar-
you're like solidly
super close.
close.
the radar.
So when the level's that big, I went for that level 10, maybe 15 minutes before I even got a ding.
Yeah.
Dude, that's what took me so long was in the meteor herd. It literally took me like 10-15 minutes to find the last emerald.
Mhm.
Like I was running from top to bottom to top, like so.
What
so
happened
annoying.
to
And
me
it
was
sucks
I died,
because
and then I just reset that emerald thing, and it gave me a different one, and it was way easier.
it sucks because if they like retooled it, I actually would play a whole game around this.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
a
I think-
Knuckles treasure hunter.
Yeah, if they made it with better like collectible mechanics, I actually fuck with it heavily. I think it controls fantastic. It's super fun to maneuver and fly around. There's not a lot of collectathon games that control like that with so much
true.
like verticality instead of like actual platforming. It's like, yeah, we're climbing walls and like flying squirrel gliding around. I think it's so cool, but like it just takes forever. And it's
I do
so
like how
annoying.
you can throw hands as Knuckles though.
And then
You
there's
do,
the
like,
root
shoryukens and
stage.
shit. It's sick.
There's the root stage where you have 5 fucking minutes and the level's still big.
I was like, I have 5 minutes for this.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
sucked
Oh
so
It's
much
so funny.
ass,
Yeah.
dude.
Uh,
It was
It's
so
rough.
bad.
It's rough.
So
And it's
the biggest flaw with that one, this thing, is in Sonic Adventure, the radar, you could find all 3 emeralds at once. Sometimes they were all active and you're able to find them. This game you can't, you know?
wait,
yeah, you
really?
have to go one at a time.
Yes, it's
in-
one at
in
a time in
Adventure
Sonic
2.
Adventure 2.
Dude,
This is
that's
such a
even
misguided
worse.
change. This is easily the biggest complaint there. So Sonic Adventure, 1, the Knuckles levels actually are pretty chill. They're pretty fun. I think
Yeah.
ultimately they're a
I
little
don't
bit
remember
too
raging
easy.
as much.
They're a
at
little
that
bit too
one.
easy because Navi just flies straight to where they're located if you ever get lost. But in this one, they add more tools for you to find it, like the clues and stuff like that, which is really cool. It's just that
clues
the radar.
The clues are
Yeah.
bad.
Well, if the radar worked like that, where all of them were available, I think the game would actually be perfectly fine.
Dude, no.
I
wonder.
honestly, I think that would have helped the
That-
Knuckles and Rouge
Because imagine
sections,
that
like,
you go through a
didn't
whole
even
level, you're
realize-
gonna get
I
one
didn't even
blip.
realize that's what was happening. No wonder
Yeah.
I was getting so fucking frustrated because I
The-
always felt like I was combing the same areas over and over again. It's
Because
like,
you were.
okay, well now I'm
Because
close
you were.
enough.
If you didn't, then you would have only combed the areas once or twice.
yeah.
The
So incompetently designed. It's
I,
crazy.
It's rough.
I also think it's pretty funny. The radar technically doesn't matter. You can
Yeah,
find
and-
them without the radar if you're crazy.
Yeah, and on another thing I like to bring up too is I feel like the front half of this game in both stories is better than the second half. I feel like I have more fun in the earlier stages with Sonic and Tails and Knuckles than I do in the later half.
I
'Cause if-
disagree with Sonic because I think the levels for Sonic and Shadow get a lot
think they-
harder.
They do get
consistent.
harder.
And so I for me it's less like I'm autopiloting through. Like especially
true.
the last Sonic stage was
Actually,
like
that's fair.
was my favorite level in the entire game because if it like really required me to actually really fucking
Yeah.
play.
Yeah, because especially against like some of those weird like blue chaos guys, like the different enemy types that you face as Sonic on the space station. It honestly does add good variety. That's fair. That's
Jumping
very fair.
between the rails is a
And
lot
yeah,
more
all the rails,
intense.
yep.
There's a lot of shortcuts and skips you can take.
Mhm.
Different routes. Like for me, I was like, "Fuck, this is excellent." If the whole fucking game was like this, I would love it.
How do you feel about
Yeah,
Crazy
if-
Gadget stage?
But what?
That was the
Which
first.
one was that again?
That's the Sonic one with the gravity changes.
Oh, yeah.
I could have not done that, but
Yeah, the gravity changing.
I could have done without the gravity thing. But whatever.
It was cooler.
I still don't think it was as bad as anything in the Knuckles or Tails.
I think Tails is mainly just boring.
Yeah, Tails to me is
Tails
like
is
essentially just like okay, well, time to throw up a fucking YouTube video or something on my other monitor
No,
because
yeah, exactly.
otherwise I'm gonna fucking fall asleep.
The mech stages in Eggman's, I think, are slightly better because they just have more enemies.
Yeah, and then also,
But
it's
it
just
doesn't even
kinda
matter
cool
because
being
it auto
Eggman.
locks on. So if you're just hitting the button fast enough, you're still fine.
Well, the way
Yeah.
the way you're supposed to play it, is that you're supposed to hold and lock on to get a high enough combo to do more. So you're aiming for a high score in there.
Yeah, you're
But this
basically
isn't the 80s. I
moving
don't
the
give a
stick.
fuck about a high score.
Well,
Yeah,
I get that, but
it's very arcadey.
so
It feels very House of the Dead in some aspects.
Here's a gameplay thing about this game. This is all intended to be replayed multiple times, consistently.
I can't imagine replaying most of this game.
Could you imagine that if you were like a child?
I can imagine replaying the Sonic levels and that's it.
They
No,
also-
I straight up don't think I can see
have,
myself replaying most of this game.
Time attack levels and also different things, like you gotta go back with the other items and stuff like that. I think it makes sense to replay the game. Now that being said, I don't like the mech stages. I
And,
think the mech stages
you
are
guys,
bad.
As a little kid, I think I would have hated it too much to want to replay it.
If you get S rank on everything, don't you unlock Green Hill? Right? Is that this game or is that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you get an S rank on every stage, you unlock a special Green Hill Zone stage. So another reason to go back through and replay, because once I found that out, that's what made me want to play the game a lot more as a kid. When I initially bought it on Steam, which was like maybe like middle school age. But even at that point, I was starting to phase out of my Sonic.
S rank didn't exist yet.
Oh, A rank? Okay. But yeah, whatever the highest rank is, because that gives you more of the little Sonic medallions or whatever.
The ranks are hard to fucking get, honestly.
They are. Like, I kept getting like D and E ranks.
Yeah,
that's the main reason I want to
Tails
fucking
went,
play
I don't
it
need
again.
to try harder.
I don't think I saw Shaymin get above a C rank, and me, I don't think I got above a B on anything.
I got a B rank on one of the Knuckles levels.
Oh, good for you.
That's it.
Wow, look at you, Chan.
That's nice.
That's it.
And listen, I just want to say this too, because of I actually really wanted to like this game like really badly.
Yeah.
I actually was like, oh dude, this one's like really iconic. I've heard it's one of the better ones. This is gonna like be I'm gonna be like, finally, I'm gonna like a Sonic game. And like I just came out the other end like so disappointed. Like legitimately, I was like,
the game has
really
so much jank to it. Like, for me, going back and playing it, especially like after playing so many later Sonic games too, it just doesn't feel that great. I think, Shaymin, you and I had a slight conversation about how we think some gameplay stuff in Sonic Adventure 1's better than 2.
Yeah.
Do you still stand by that?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I think
I feel like Sonic's tighter to control in 1.
I think Omega,
every character's kind of slippery.
for example, which is also the
Omega's
Tails
a better
and,
mech.
Yeah,
kind
the
of.
mech levels are much more fun there. The platforming's better in there, and like the levels are.
There's actual platforming in there.
You can shoot a lot more too. Like I think the guns utilized way better in that one. And also you get that cool thematic element where like that one is more about like killing robots. Like that's your entire plot there.
Yeah, you're basically on a hit mission.
Yeah, you're on a hit
Basically,
mission to
I'm
kill your
vaguely
brothers.
familiar with the plot
Kill your brothers.
of some of them.
Yeah, literally, like Omega's whole thing is like, I have to kill my brothers,
And then
you're
kill
like,
Eggman.
yeah, he's like, I must destroy this lineage of destruction. And it's like, holy shit, Omega, are you? Oh wow! And Sonic's like, whoa, I gotta beat this blue fucking water demon.
I wanted to talk about this game specifically because it's definitely not perfect at all.
No, yeah,
I do think it's very iconic with a lot of the things. I think it
presentation-wise, like the
It's
menus, the
probably
color palette.
The soundtrack is fucking perfect.
The soundtrack
Yes.
is perfect. Yeah, it's like the best. Maybe not the best Sonic game, but like the most easily presentable, digestible, and I think story-wise, it nails what it needs to.
I think this game really helped make a solid
Platform.
it made a solid base for modern Sonic to build off of, I think. In
Which
terms
they
of
then proceeded to
story
not build off of very effectively.
No, they
structure.
fucked up
Yeah,
everything
they fumbled
else
that shit.
afterwards.
They fumbled that shit so hard.
They got Heroes.
I feel like Heroes was a fine
It's
next
cute.
step because it's cute. You build up more of the world. You introduce some older Sonic characters, but Adventure 2 really is kind of like staple Sonic. Like when you see like art from this game, like you're like, oh yeah, that's Sonic. You know, like you see Shadow from this game, you're like, oh yeah, that's like
The
peak
only
Shadow.
reason
Which, like,
to
unironically
like
is-
Shadow is this fucking game.
Yeah,
Because
no.
like Shadow.
And that's another big thing about this game is it's Shadow's first introduction, of course, and that's another big landmark for the series is a lot of Rouge and Shadow introductions are in this game, and that's one of the biggest things for the series going forward.
But also, I think for a reason that's kind of why I think it's a bit of a shame and why I was disappointed so much, because of it is so iconic. And then I ended up only liking such a relatively small chunk of this game.
Yeah.
And so it was just like, dude, this is their most iconic. This is their like, okay, yeah, we're all building off of this. This is like our best foot forward in a lot of aspects. And then I still only ended up liking 30% of it. And so I was just like,
yeah,
darn. And this isn't even just like an old game thing or something like that, or an expectations thing.
They just make weird choices.
I love Mario 64. I don't think it's a perfect game, but I understand why people like that game. I was not disappointed by it.
No.
Ocarina of Time, I understand it. Super Metroid, it's not 3D, but you get what I'm going like with iconic games.
Like the iconic staple for that series.
Final Fantasy VII, like out of all of the iconic staple games I played, this one like was the only time I was like, dang, like that sucks that this is the iconic one, I guess.
And you wonder why Sega's so out of the console game and like doesn't pump out a new Sonic like every other year like they used to. Yeah.
They're about to.
They are about to. Which
they haven't done it in a while. I'm a little scared.
Which I am a little scared.
Let's talk about that. Yeah, we got our overall opinions.
I think our overall opinion. I think we all three of us agree that Sonic Adventure 2 is a little bit of a wash, right? We're not happy with.
So
personally, myself, I'm not happy with the complete package. The time attack stuff, the multiplayer stuff's really fun though. If you've ever played that,
also
I don't have people to play this shit with because I'm doing this on a computer in my fucking apartment. So that doesn't fucking matter to me.
You could spend like 40 hours in the Chow Garden. That's like entry.
Yeah, you could. Yeah.
That
for the amount of gameplay.
It's not something I'm interested in, but I agree that that's a cool addition. It's not for me, but I won't take it away from the game that that's really cool.
It is so close to being like insanely good. They just fumble the bag on so many weird gameplay choices, and
I would say, but since they do that they're not so close. I'd say that like there are some chunks of this game that are really good. And then a lot of the chunks of the game are just like not even fun. And I think there's too much game that's not fun for me to really consider it close. I think that they had some good ideas, but a lot of them didn't work.
Close.
Yeah. They were close with their ideas, but on execution, they fumbled
they fucked up.
Yeah, because I feel like if you take each individual aspect and just kind of like observe it separately, like there is potential fun stuff that you could do with the mech sections, but it is just so mindless, and there is no path variation like you would expect from a Sonic game. Because Sonic games are really all about the path variation, going the fastest route, learning that fastest route,
that's
taking
a really
that
good
shortcut.
point. Because Omega levels have a lot of path variation, actually.
Exactly. Hold forward, hit A or B or whichever your thing is mapped to. There was one time I had to turn around because I missed an enemy, and it was hovering over here, and then my fucking camera got stuck, and I had to start the level over because of this game's not even, like, the levels for the mechs aren't even designed for you to do anything other than hold forward.
Mm-hmm.
So let me look at the release order, because I feel like... Okay, so...
For what?
Just for Sonic games in general, because I feel like they went from adventure
to Heroes to Shadow, I'm pretty sure.
Well, hold on, let me see. Where's Sonic Adventure?
Oh.
Why are they not listed on here? Why are they being racist to me?
It's been retconned.
Oh, they're just listing the 2D games on this list? That's messed up. Oh, okay, there we go. So, Sonic Adventure... Yeah, so they had 3 years between Adventure 1 and Adventure 2 to figure their shit out. They had 3 years. Okay, yeah, there's no excuse. I was like, did they like slam out Adventure 2 like right after 1? No, because there's so many new assets. There's so... Yeah, you know what? Yeah.
Yeah, they have bad decisions.
It's just not good enough for me. And again, I really wanted to like this game, and when I'm playing the Sonic stages, I always can't get this out of my head that it's like, damn, I wish this was what I was doing the whole time, because of it's like fucking bliss doing the Sonic stages. I fucking love most of them.
And
I think they're super fun. It's so fun controlling it. The momentum is great. There's so many fun branching pathways. The enemy variety is really solid when you're playing as Sonic because of the way you tackle them is very different. I think the boss fights when you're playing as Sonic are the only times where I think the boss fights are actually fun.
But because every other character is just like, for the mech fights, it's just shoot a bunch, just keep shooting,
and strafe.
For Knuckles and Rouge, it's just
ground
punch
pound.
them. Punch them a bunch. But with Sonic and Shadow, there is some variation, right? There is some different tactics at play. And you brought up a really funny thing, Liam, about like, man, I wish I could just play as Sonic more, because that's like an issue with a lot of later Sonic games.
I was just about to say, like, so sad to say,
they never learned their lesson.
They never learned, ever.
No.
That's the biggest problem with Sonic. They have it. They had it there. They had it there in the Sonic levels. They just never do that again. They try.
If the whole game was like that, I think I would love this game. I think I would be singing its praises up from the fucking rooftops.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was great. I was having a great time. But 2/3 of this game are range from either aggressively mid to just like barely functional game design.
Could you imagine a Sonic game like that?
Just Sonic?
Where it's just you playing as Sonic. Your friends are along sometimes. Maybe not for gameplay. Maybe occasionally.
It's my dream.
Yeah.
Right now is for a game to just control like that and have levels like that, but I don't have to spend like hours at a time playing as other people who are just worse.
So I will say, games that do control decently, they get a little close with like Colors Generations.
Yep, Colors
That's a different
Generations
vibe entirely.
close.
It's a different vibe. And Frontiers is pretty decent control-wise.
I think Frontiers control-wise has a lot going for it. I think
it has a lot of similarities to this game too.
Frontiers just doesn't appeal to me from like a visual, like to me like the vibe of it is so like uninteresting to me.
It's empty. It's very empty, and I think that's the issue, because I think the best thing that you could do with Sonic is kind of take what you did with Frontiers, but Mario Odyssey it. You know, throw him in different environments that are filled with shit that you could either collect or grab or complete mission segments, and you just do fucking cool running and flips and shit. Like, what's that new Jet Set Radio type game that's out or coming out? What, like Bomb
Rush Cyberpunk came out a while ago, and
and I saw like somebody just do a mod of Sonic in that game. I'm like, why don't we have a Sonic game that just looks like this, where you fucking flip and dash and fucking grind rail slide, like.
And it's so annoying that it's not. It doesn't happen.
It's so annoying, in fact, that most of the Sonic games nowadays are like fan projects that people make, which is just the shit that we want.
No, exactly. It's really just a lot of fumbling from Sega
and you know what?
And Sonic Team themselves.
I always have hope that we'll get there again, because right now we got people who actually care about the fucking game, like Christian Whitehead and Ian Flynn.
Christian Whitehead, great
Mania.
job with Sonic Mania, and Ian Flynn did honestly an awesome story for Frontiers. I think Frontiers has a pretty solid story to it.
Frontiers is probably as close as I've gotten to like having feeling for these characters since Adventure 2, which isn't a lot.
Yeah,
because like I still actually think I could have more. I could really.
Yeah, if Adventure 2 is the metric, then like I could care a lot more about these characters.
Yeah.
And to be fair to them, I guess I care more about them than Mario characters, because of Mario plots don't have anything going on. Unless it's like Galaxy.
I think that's the main thing.
Luigi is the ultimate life form.
Yeah, Luigi, the ultimate life form, who was created as a clone to Mario. That teamed up with Bowser to destroy. No, but
this sounds like Wario instead.
Oh, you're right.
It's Wario and Waluigi.
He's the ultimate life form.
Dude, yeah. But I think that's the biggest thing that we just touched upon is Sonic is at this point so much more about the characters and the franchise rather than the games now.
Yes.
Where, like so many of the kids that I teach art classes on weekends, and the kids that I teach, a lot of them talk more about the Sonic shows or comics or movies than any of the games. like only a handful of them actually play the games out of the kids that like Sonic.
Yeah, it's like,
which is really funny. But Sonic's such a powerful icon, just visually. You know, like one of the great things about character design and is a solid silhouette, right? Like you want to make sure that your character's instantly recognizable from silhouette.
The only way I mistake a character for being Sonic is when it's a character intentionally designed in the
When
Sonic
it's
universe
Shadow.
to have the same silhouette.
Yeah, like Shadow.
Or Metal
And
Sonic
even then,
or something like
or
that.
Metal
Yeah.
Sonic, yeah. Like literally, Sonic has such a recognizable design, and all of the Sonic characters have really iconic designs that you're like, oh wow, like these characters have something special to them. Like they have sauce. It's just for Sonic Team to do something with
It's
that.
just that they
It's very
only
hard.
have sauce. They don't have anything to put the sauce on.
style
Yeah,
over
yeah.
substance.
There's
That's all
Exactly.
it ever is in Sonic. They have
And I
so
feel
much
like-
style, but they never bring enough substance. Or whenever they do, it's just like,
and it's not like I'm
Fuck
asking for crazy substance in the story. Like you could just have a very basic
I'm asking
Sonic
for
Adventure
crazy
2.
substance in the gameplay.
yes.
Yeah, I'm just
gameplay.
asking for your substance in the gameplay. Like
Don't
I'm just
fuck
asking,
anything up.
Like I'm just
Don't-
asking for these stages to have more variety and fun, and like take your time on it. You know, fine tune these gameplay details. Frontiers is a really solid base now to build off of for
Please
a
just
more
make a good
visually
game.
interesting Sonic.
I'll
Just
even
make
say
a
this
good
too.
game.
I think that the thing that adventure games do, where it's a world that's like so aggressively, like Mario Odyssey even rips this a little bit, where it's like a very like normal-ish presented world, where it's just like, yeah, New York City and the President of the United States and stuff like that, but also there's a funny blue hedgehog that everybody just acknowledges is there.
Yeah, that
I love
starts.
I think the setting of this game, it's stupid. It's a dumb fucking setting, but
Dude,
I
yeah,
think it's so fun.
Now,
The
which is-
first stage you get with Sonic is City Escape. You're fucking snowboarding through fucking San Francisco, basically.
now that
Yeah.
being said, didn't you play another game, Liam?
Played like fucking 10 minutes of Sonic 06.
That's all you need.
I played 10 minutes of Sonic 06.
That's
And
all you
Sonic
need,
06 is every wrong decision from Adventure 2 cranked up to 5 billion.
Yes, like
There's
literally-
like not even much to say about it. It's just like
And there's
It
not even
just
much to
sucks.
say new. Like it just sucks. You know,
It's
like
it
Sonic
just
06.
sucks.
it is.
It's graphically impressive in the cutscenes, I guess.
Yeah.
I meant impressive how they fucked up. I don't even think it's that.
I think the cutscenes look okay for the era.
I think
Yeah,
the-
for 360,
I
it's
think-
not like the Browns 360 era stuff that like most people might be used to, where it's like muddy
The-
and gray and
the
gross. Like
initial
there's at least
cutscene there where
Mhm.
it's obviously Sonic being cool and shit, and Eggman there. Eggman looks fucking weird. You're like, okay, this is pretty cool, and then it just cuts to the gameplay.
yeah.
And then you
it
gotta
cuts to the
play it.
gameplay and
Yeah,
it doesn't look like that cinematic at all. It looks goofier and dumber, and you're like, what the fuck is this?
Dude, they
Like,
fuck it.
Dude, that model for Sonic in the cutscene looks more like Sonic than the regular model in game. Like it's
Yeah.
so bad. Like
They-
Sonic's like doe-eyed with humongous irises. He's kind of like his eyes are kind of spaced. So bad.
This
Yeah.
is me admitting as a Sonic fan that I hate Sonic.
Unfortunately,
I hate
and I
Sonic.
hate to say this because I kind of wanted to be proven wrong, but I feel like this experiment has kind of just solidified my opinion on Sonic. Just made me go like, yeah, I guess I don't really like Sonic that much.
I think the
because of-
character's great. The games suck most of the time.
Most of the time, I think from Adventure 2 onward, we have obviously your stinkers, right? People we know, Shaymin, like to defend Black Knight and the Wii games. Those games are garbage too.
Dude, they are. Alright, so first of all,
Unleashed-
Secret Reigns, literally uncontrollable.
Yes, Secret Reigns is terrible. Black Knight, Sonic has a sword. That's it. That's all the sauce that it has.
Listen, okay?
And the music.
It's kind of funny.
But they all have good music.
It's kind of funny. I'll give it the funny
That's true.
points. You get to see Knuckles as a knight.
Yeah. And in Black Knight,
And
they're
Shadow.
not Knuckles and Shadow and Blaze.
So
They're
Knuckles.
they're
There's Sir Gwyn.
look-alike they're
the
lookalikes
Knights of the Round
that are
Table.
in.
It's like those
Arthurian
sitcom
lore.
episodes where like
Yes,
they'll do
it's
like
literally
Arthurian
that.
legend, but they're played by the cast of Jesse or something like
Yeah,
that.
exactly. Yeah.
We're just talking
Yeah,
about Sonic
literally.
in general now, but yeah, dude, that
Yeah,
shit's
we're
insane.
talking a little bit generalities, but I think Adventure 2 has major influences definitely on 06 for sure. 06 is like the biggest stinker of the series just because
Essentially killed the
heck,
franchise as
for
far
a
as
while.
public perception is concerned. No, I'd say to this day it's still
It
it's
still
still,
has effects.
suffering. It's still
We're talking
suffering
about it
from
right
the
now.
effects of drop. Yeah, we're talking about it right the fuck now. I
It's
still do
taken
not think
until
the franchise
this year.
has recovered from the effects of this game.
So
yeah.
right now,
I don't think the franchise I honestly think it's going to be a black mark on the franchise until we get something like truly phenomenal from Sonic again, which will be
Specifically
a while.
3D.
yeah,
Yes.
right
Like
now,
we need like a modern AAA Sonic game that's finally at least like an 8 out of 10. Because I haven't played Frontiers. I've watched Frontiers.
Frontiers is
It
like a
looks
6 or
solid,
7
but it's
out of
like a
10.
6 or 7.
Yeah.
It's not like fantastic. It's just
It's a
like
serviceable
in the,
game.
In the context of the Sonic franchise, it's fantastic. But
haven't
we
played
need
the
one that's
DLC.
in the context of like normal video games. Once we
Yeah.
get one that's finally like fantastic, maybe finally.
Finally 06 will be forgotten.
Mhm.
And another thing that you mentioned with the I wish I could play more Sonic sections. A game that immediately popped in my head was Sonic Unleashed,
yes.
where it's like,
That's-
God, just let me play the daytime section.
Dude,
Stop making me the
this is-
stupid werewolf.
If you're talking
There's
about
werewolves.
good Sonic sections, Unleashed is crazy good. They're so much fun. You go like fucking
They-
200
And
miles
you
an
go-
hour, like you're running across the water and
You
shit.
just have to,
It's so
you just
cool.
have to play a bunch of sections you don't like. Which
Yeah,
is,
you also
again,
have
like,
to play like 40 minutes, like even more boring than Knuckles levels, in my opinion.
What's wrong with you, Sega?
and the thing about the Werehog sections is that I honestly think the Werehog stages have bad music.
Oh,
One of
the
the
jazz is
rare
so great.
occasions- One of the rare occasions where I think just because of how much it lacks in variety for the Werehog sections, anytime you fight an enemy, it's the fucking jazz band starts playing up again. You know, and you get the werewolf
You should play that.
guys.
You should play that right now.
It's the
Werewolf
werewolf
Encounter.
jazz band. Yeah.
Sorry, Liam.
You know, the fucking crazy ass. And it's loud as shit. It's not. I don't like it. I hate Werehog.
we just
As a concept, too.
we just need this franchise to be put, because I will say, back in the 2D era, Sonic the Hedgehog was at minimum on par with Mario.
Yeah.
I think you would even be able to give me I don't think I would agree with you, but I wouldn't argue with you if
It was
you
ahead
said
for,
you
like,
thought it was
one
better
game.
than Mario.
It was ahead for one game, and then they just never brought it back. I think
Yeah,
I think you could justify saying like Sonic 1, 2, and then 3 and Knuckles put together.
yeah.
Like you could say like I like them more than like the NES Mario games, or even like I like them more than like Super Mario World, and I'd be like, I'm not with you, but I don't think
you
you're
can
wrong.
see that.
I
You
don't
can
think you're
see
wrong.
that. Yeah.
I don't think you're wrong. But right now, like say like the most recent Mario 3D entry is like Odyssey. The bar for like 3D platformers is so fucking high right now.
Yeah.
And like we're not even hitting the bare fucking minimum right now.
No.
And we just need to go up a little. Well, no, with Frontiers we're hitting the bare minimum.
I say with Frontiers we're hitting the bare minimum, but even then, like, it in some cases it just kind of loses the platforming element and just kind of becomes an open world free roam with like crazy speed, which you
Towards the
You
end, it
can
gets
still
a bit
do,
boring
you know.
too, because they
Yeah,
start
towards
to
the end,
lose
it's-
a lot of the new shit they had, so they have to reuse a lot of it, which is fine to some extent.
yeah.
But
Fine.
you know,
But
I kind of would
okay.
like a
Towards the
little
end,
bit
you can tell
more-
that
something
they're
new.
like, all right, get to the boss. You know,
Yeah,
like
and also-
by the end they're like, all right, just get to the final boss, and you're like, okay.
and
okay,
the
I guess
gameplay
I will.
combos, they're Devil May Cry combos, but they're not that good.
Yeah, I feel like you either have to. I feel like this problem with Sega is that you just try to pull Sonic in too many directions with a game.
They're always
it's like, just-
not focused.
Just double down on something. You know, double down on something, add a little twist, and just make that good.
Yes.
You know.
The only one I'm interested in is Sonic Generations from here on out, because it looks like their commitment is just we're doing some 2D and some 3D Sonic levels. We're gonna try and make them good.
New release
And while
of
I've heard
Sonic
it's not like
Generations.
super original, like they're repeating a lot of levels, but it's not bad.
They're
Yeah,
doing the
I'd
same
say,
thing with the same shit they did with 3D World in Mario. Where
Yeah,
they're
they're doing a
we're
new
adding
update.
little just bit at the end.
Yeah, they're doing the Shadow Sonic Cross Shadow
Side note,
Generations.
one of the funniest things about Sonic Generations is that it's actually one of the best ways to play Sonic Unleashed right now. There's mods out there that just make it Sonic Unleashed, so you can.
Yeah, because they
And
take
it's
a
like-
lot of the speed mechanics of the daytime
And
sections
you,
of Sonic Unleashed.
once again, you can't find many great ways to play that game right now. So
Yeah, unless you
Sega
have
fucking
original
sucks.
hardware. You know.
Sega fucking sucks unless it. So here's the thing now. So Sega has it's been leaked. It's not been officially announced, but there's a leaker named Midori
Alright.
on Twitter who specifically more often leaks like Persona Megami Tensei stuff, but works like Sega as a whole.
Yeah.
Right now, Sega considers the 3 pillars of the company: Sonic the Hedgehog, Megami Tensei, more specifically Persona, but Megami Tensei as a whole, and Yakuza.
Okay,
Those
that's
are the
good.
3 pillars of the company.
That's solid.
They are planning to release some form of title for each of these every year. So, like, say for like Persona, which is one I'm more familiar with, it'll be like Persona 3 Reload, and then the year after that, like the Persona 5 fucking gotcha game, and then like PQ3 or something like that, or like you know, or like Persona 5 Tactica came out.
Yeah.
And then Persona 6 will come out, and then back to spin-offs and stuff like that. Maybe like a Persona 6 Dancing. For Sonic, they're gonna release maybe like a main title, and then maybe like
a classic,
like a classic style, and then maybe one that's like,
Maybe
hey,
a
who
spin-off
killed
or
Sonic the
something.
Hedgehog
Yeah.
type thing.
Yeah.
Yakuza. I haven't played a single Yakuza game, but God, I want to.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
fine.
look so
They're all
fun.
good. They're all good.
I
want to
intend
play like
to.
a dragon.
Yeah.
I want to play all of
keep
them. I'm
meaning
gonna go straight through all of them.
Yeah.
I'm gonna emulate them and go all the way through
Leave us
because
a
they look
comment.
like such my jam.
You might
but yeah,
speed that one up.
Sonic is about to go yearly.
That's good.
And before people go like, oh well, how do you know? This leaker has not been wrong yet. This leaker is fucking good.
Yeah. So I think a good direction for Sega to go would be to kind of bounce back and forth between like a modern, a classic, and then a spin-off thing, you know? And then just kind of like keep
And then you have
building
like
and building and
2
building.
years to like
Exactly.
craft an effective like 3D one.
This
Exactly.
could be good.
Because it's not like a 2D one's that hard to make.
No.
Not to discredit like like the guys who made Sonic Mania because it's great, but
It's
it's
a
not
phenomenal
like
game.
it's not like it takes a lot of people and a lot of effort to like make one that's okay. To make a great one, it does take effort, but like crafting a 2D platformer versus crafting a 3D platformer, like it's almost incomparable.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different elements that you have to worry about.
There are very different elements that you have to worry about.
And the
but
formula
yeah.
for Sonic 2D is so concrete that it's not changing.
Yes.
The most you
there's
get
such
is
a-
little.
And it doesn't even
extra
necessarily
things.
have to right
doesn't,
now, because
no.
again, out of the 2D Sonic games I've played, I've liked both of them. They haven't, been like my favorite
just
games
did,
of all time, but they're
All
fun.
you gotta do is
They just
add a
did
few more
Sonic
gimmicks.
Superstars,
Yeah.
which was,
That was cute.
Superstars is, it didn't get the best reception critically, but like it's a cute
never
multiplayer,
do.
like 4-player Sonic game. Like of course it's going to be messy, but it's cute, it's fun.
I'll buy it.
And
And
people that
play
I
it.
know that have
I'll
played
play
it,
it drunk
they
with
say
a
it's
few
fun.
buddies. I'm sure it's fun.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the environment
Exactly.
you're supposed to play it in.
Anyway, I can't wait to play Sonic kart racing again.
Yeah, let's.
So I actually
Team
technically
Sonic
lied.
Racing.
I played Team Sonic Racing with Shaymin. That's actually technically, I think, my first Sonic game was.
I
Sonic
didn't even
Team
touch
Racing.
Sonic in that game. I just played as the heavy.
Sega All-Star Racing Transform
But
With
yeah,
Danica Patrick.
with Danica,
Yeah,
Patrick,
yeah,
Wreck-It
yeah.
Ralph, and Heavy from Team Fortress. What? What? The Sega?
They're cooking.
Dude, they were.
All right.
But yeah, do we
That-
want to move on to?
Let's do a quick book club. I think we're pretty
yeah.
wrapped up on that. Overall opinion, Sonic, you fuck up. You better do right. This is your fucking year. You have one shot. You make the Shadow game good.
Shadow.
You make
I
this
can't
movie
wait for
good.
some Sonic fans to
You
go
got it.
crazy at me
You
in the
got it.
comments for not
You got
liking
it.
this game.
Okay? Yeah.
Come crazy at us. Come crazy at us for not
Crazy
liking
at it.
Sonic
Yeah,
Adventure 2.
give us the engagement.
Dog,
Yeah,
it is.
Come on.
Listen, it can be fun. No shame if you like the mech levels or the
Yeah, no shame.
Knuckles levels. I do like the Knuckles levels, honestly.
I like the first like
almost.
2.
I
I like the
almost
first
like
2. If they added more collectibles and like so that the wide open spaces were actually for anything.
It's really
So
just
like
the radar.
say like Mario Odyssey, like a Mario Odyssey level's big as hell, but there's like 50 fucking things to find.
Yeah, like if there was more things to find outside of your main objective, even too, to help get you like
Other than just
extra
get
points
100
or better
rings.
rank, like that'd be cool. Like if you, and of course there are like the little flicky, animal guys hidden around each stage, but like even then, that's not much. That doesn't give you much except Chow Garden.
I bet if you
Which was not a grind I was willing to get into
the
for
other
this episode.
thing you're
That would
supposed
take
to
way
do
too long.
is the 100 ring completion. I'm pretty sure that one's one.
Yeah.
One. That one's harder.
I
than
did that a
Knuckles
couple.
levels.
I honestly, the Knuckles levels were the only ones I did it
Huh?
because it's really easy to not get hit in those levels.
That's
That's
fair.
true.
There, if you explore the whole map too, I guess it makes sense. Either way, yeah, that's it. I'll start with my book club, I guess.
Okay,
Yeah.
go for it.
So
Might as well move on. Yeah, transition.
We should have commissioned the book club theme too.
Nuh-uh.
What am I
No,
mentioning?
we just keep book clubbing. We just keep book clubbing like this. This is great.
Book
Shut-da-da-da. Shut-da-da-da.
Book club.
All right, so I watched more Sonic shit. I watched the Knuckles TV show.
Oh man, how is that?
Dude, it's funny.
Is it good? Okay.
It's funny. It's kind of stupid. I think
No way.
the overall plot is bad. Wade as a character is Wade, so like,
Yeah.
you're not
Just
supposed to like him. I think it's
random deputy man
gets really
trained in the
weird.
arts of the echidna.
the real best part about it is obviously when Knuckles is on screen, because Knuckles is
Yeah.
fun. He's a great character. He's silly, stupid as shit.
Yeah,
They're
he's really dumb.
He has some of the best humor, like the scene where he just like sits on the roof. Sonic's like, yeah, chill out, enjoy life, make yourself at home. And he's like, let me meditate on this. And then he goes to another universe. Then he thinks about it for like hours. And he's like, yes, I shall. And then he takes over the house and makes it a gladiatorial combat arena. Pretty solid.
Yeah, that's a funny bit. That's a good bit. I like that.
He's also the family, like the whole plot revolves around Wade going to a bowling tournament. And you go to see Wade's
Sounds like my kind of show.
family, and Wade's mother's like very Jewish, and Wade has like serious childhood trauma issues with his sister.
Huh.
And
It
Knuckles,
sounds like exactly what I want.
it's
out of
actually
the Sonic
kind of
property.
I'm not even gonna say too much more of it. It's just complete batshit humor. There's a musical episode where they explain Knuckles' backstory, how he got his ancient powers,
Do they
like
rap?
flames of chaos.
Do they rap?
No, actually,
Aw.
do they? It's more
Do
like
they rap just like all of Knuckles' themes?
so. The
in Sonic
main
Adventure 2?
main villain of the show, well, one of the main villains, he's like a bounty hunter dude. He goes on Facebook Marketplace and takes bounties.
It goes up.
They talk about Knuckles
Wow.
and his family, so they dress him up as an owl and give him an electric guitar, and he sings the whole backstory to Wade as Knuckles. It's pretty intense.
I think
That's an entire
unironically,
episode.
the one thing that this exercise did is it made me way more interested in actually going and watching the Sonic movies
Yes,
because I never watched them.
They're fun.
they're fun.
cute.
I think Sonic 1's kind of bad.
Sonic
Like,
1, admittedly, is
It's not that good.
very Sonic.
I specifically mean, I guess, the second one and
Yes.
the incoming third one.
Yes.
Yeah, I think
The
I
first
think
one
2 and
seems
3
to me
are-
a little bit more of a basic, like, whoa, a crazy cartoon character
The
is
real
here
good
with
thing about the first one
with
is that
James
it's Jim
Marsden.
James
Carrey.
Marsden.
You just get to watch Jim Carrey be himself, and
Yeah.
he's got pretty fun
Ja-
interaction with Sonic.
How many
That's true.
movies has James Marsden done of that style? Because I know it's at least 2. It might
Oh
be
no,
3.
it's at least like 5 at this point. Like,
That's his job.
like, yeah, James Marsden's whole thing now is to just be like with funny cartoon character. Even like the Disney movie, what's it called? Enchanted or something?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking Sonic.
Even then, he's a
Enchanted,
fucking cartoon guy.
Hop.
Hop,
Oh.
yeah.
Another good thing about the movies and generally
My favorite
the Sonic
Easter
media,
film, Hop.
god awful, is the references.
Depends
to
on what
the,
you think on the CGI for X-Men.
Yeah, that's true.
If you count this.
the
Yeah.
references they got. A little bit of extra things like they had a lounge there where they're going to do a trade of Knuckles and sell them to the military. It's insane.
Wow.
It's insane.
A
shit.
kid
That's an
trafficking.
insane.
Anyway, they go to a resort. It's called Ice Cap Resort. Like cute shit like that.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah, I like the little
That's
references.
how
Like,
they
like,
always
like how,
do. All the cities are like that. I'm waiting until they get
Yeah.
to Chemical Plant.
Yeah, no, what was it? In Sonic 1 and 2, you know, like the town that they live in is called Green Hills,
Yeah.
you know?
The
It's
name,
cute, it's cute.
literally, like, it's all just neighbor and shit. I think they went to, like, just a different fucking place. I don't know. They're all going to
Yeah.
Reno. It's a road trip to Reno. What a weird fucking...
Yeah, what a weird show. What
that's
a
where
weird
the
show.
that's where the International Bowling Championship is. I don't know. Go watch it in your own time. I've heard people say, like, it's
I'm
kind
gonna
of
do
shit.
it on your time.
It's a little shit, but you'll enjoy it.
It's schlocky shit, you know?
Yeah,
like,
exactly,
if you enjoy some
like-
schlock, yeah, you'll enjoy it.
I don't know.
Well,
Go drink
I'm sorry,
or something while watching.
but are you going? Who here's going to a Sonic the Hedgehog thing to have their like
Mind blown.
Mind blown.
mind
Yeah.
blown by some deep emotional storytelling?
I was amazed
Not
they went that deep with Wade's personal trauma. Dude's got fucking issues. His sister is like actually just like horribly abusive, and as an adult, it's kind of scary watching her just beat the shit out of Wade. Knuckles
Oh
is
my
like,
god, you're...
you? I'm coming after you.
That Knuckles is like, once I'm done with this bowling championship, you will die. It's like, oh my god, whoa.
You correct your shit, or I'm gonna come talk to you.
Yeah. He cracks his knuckles. His two big
No,
knuckles.
what he did was he used his fucking little hand spikes and just eyeball
Oh, he's
her.
like, I'm watching you? That's fucked up. That's awesome.
No, she deserves
Yeah,
it.
so go watch
She's annoying and a bitch. Yeah,
Alright.
moving on. Somebody else take the floor.
next?
Did anyone watch the new Doctor Who season or like a couple episodes that dropped?
Shit. I don't know
No.
what I'm doing.
How is it?
Did they cook?
Is it rough?
Did they cook?
So they dropped 2 episodes.
Okay.
Space Babies and the
Okay.
Devil's Cord.
Okay. Like
I
umbilical
kind of
cord?
like Devil's Cord. Devil's Cord is pretty good, honestly.
Okay.
Okay.
At least I thought so. I thought it was pretty good. Space Babies is a little rough way to start the season.
Aw.
Oh,
The
yeah.
doctor introductions are the best.
Well, technically, this isn't his introduction. The Church on Ruby Road special, and
Okay.
he's in like the last like 10 minutes of the
Define-
Giggle
yeah.
special. So this is not his first story, but this is the first story of the season, and it's a little rough. I won't lie.
Mhm.
I was watching it with Jules. Shout out to Jules, I love you. Mwah. But it was yeah, you guys shout out Jules too. Hi.
Hello.
Hi, Jules.
Because I know he watches this.
Yeah.
I kind of almost wanted to turn it off. I was a little embarrassed.
You were sitting there like, hey, you want to watch the new Doctor Who?
You know, actually,
Because I
Oh,
hyped it
man.
up a little bit because I like Doctor Who a lot, and I was like, let's watch the new stuff together. And he was like, yeah, I'm game. And
they just-
actually, what's really funny is he ended up liking Space Babies more.
Wow, really?
Than Devil's Cord. But Space
Uh-oh.
Babies to me was like, it's very, 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 very childish on purpose, but it's super cringe to me because of that. I'll just let you know. You'll know what I mean. I'll just tell you what happens at the. I'll just tell you what happens at the end. They saved the day by making the spaceship fart.
never mind.
You
It's
hate
goaded. It's
childhood
awesome.
whimsy.
Awesome.
I hate childhood whimsy. It's
You
pretty
hate
much the
whimsy
idea.
and mirth.
The idea of the episode is that it's supposed to be very childish.
Mhm.
Which I feel like they could have done in a way that was a little less like if you're a little kid, you probably love this episode. But it's not as all ages as Doctor Who generally is to me. I'm not here to say that Doctor Who is serious. Doctor Who's not serious, but it's usually kind of an all ages sort of thing. Yeah. Where I think Space Babies is very much like
babies.
Like, their target here is ages like 4 to like 10.
Yeah, you throw your own Space Baby in front of the TV and let them watch Space Babies.
And the effects were a little rough for something with BBC and Disney money now.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And it looks pretty much just as bad as it used to. So it's like, well, where'd that money go? Where'd the money go?
Money laundering, bro. That's all it is.
But I actually genuinely really like Devil's Court. I don't think it was perfect. It wasn't like it's not like one for the ages. But I came out of Devil's Court like, yeah, if the rest of the season's like this, I'm happy.
Well, we're gonna get some like cool iconic episodes. I'd hope so.
The next one I'm looking forward to, Boom. It's written by Stephen Moffat, who is one of the best writers the show has had. He was the one he was the showrunner for the 11th and 12th Doctors and was a regular writer on 9 and 10. He's penned some of the best episodes. He gets one episode this season, and the premise of it is the Doctor steps on a landmine. And now the whole episode takes place with him trying to figure out how to get off of this landmine without killing himself.
That's awesome.
That's a Doctor thing. That's the thing the Doctor would do.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's like, let's go on this crazy adventure. Oh no! Wait, somebody disarmed that. Oh no!
Which I think again is going to be very interesting.
His screwdriver's out of batteries. He can't fix it.
Oh no!
Don't worry, I'll just.
He hits his sonic screwdriver. He's like, oh no, it's out of battery. Somebody get me double A's. Wait, we're in 1918. Oh no!
But I'm looking forward to that one. But I just as a thing, like, I think Space Babies was like a 5 out of 10. I wish the effects were better. I think the story had a lot of potential with its theme. Since I know Shaymin's gonna watch it, I won't go into it. But I think thematically, it was very interesting on paper, but was executed in a way that was like too juvenile for me personally to enjoy. Yeah. And like leans into that where I'm like, you could have. I think if you spun it in a very different direction entirely, you actually could have made it like a very like scary horror premise. That I think would have been way more effective. But even if they didn't want to go that far, I would have just like toned back on some of the just like
the babies in space.
They should have done 5 minutes. It's like Teletubbies. That's scary.
Devil's Court is essentially Doctor Who versus a god.
That's pretty standard.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
There's this one really cool sequence. It's essentially a god of music.
That's fun. Okay.
So it's the premise of that one is they go back in time to visit the Beatles, and the Beatles suck now, and so does everybody. There's music is gone. From the earth, like no one makes music anymore. And there's a god who has taken away all music. And that's essentially just controls sound. And there's this really great scene. I'm just gonna say this because I think it's really creative, where he like, you know how noise canceling headphones work?
Yeah.
Where they blast like the opposite wavelength and to cancel out sound. He does that to make the god go away and like make her powerless. So like essentially makes the scene silent.
That's cool.
As like a countermeasure. I think it's really cool. I think
that's interesting.
I think it's very creative. It's very much in the same vein as the Giggle special on purpose because of the main villain is literally related to the villain from the Giggle. They're all meant to be part of like a quote unquote pantheon. So it's of a similar ilk, but it's essentially just the Doctor versus like a universe breaking fourth wall like monster.
Yeah.
Who's hamming it up for the camera. And if you want to watch the Giggle, it's that same kind of premise, but instead it's the god of games and stuff like that. And it's Neil Patrick Harris as the god of games, and they have to beat him in a game of catch or else the universe is doomed.
It's true. That's pretty intense.
So I fuck with it. That's what I liked. I wasn't big on Space Babies. I hope the rest of the season is pretty good. I like Devil's Court. If you like Space Babies, that's fine. And again, like, I think Jules liked it because of how much it leaned into the juvenile stuff. I won't like fully speak for him on it because of like we didn't talk about it too much afterwards. We kind of like it was like late, so we went to bed afterwards. But I think he kind of liked how hard it was leaning into a way that for him that made it like way funnier.
Yeah.
And thought like Devil's Cord was just like so.
Depends on how funny you think babies are.
Yeah.
I think he really liked the corn factor of it.
Yeah.
Because it's
just
corny
the
as shit.
hamminess. Yeah.
Like it is deliberately as hammy as they can get away with. Which wasn't for me, but if it's for you, that's fine. I rank it low. And I wouldn't have made it the first episode of the season for sure. It's a really bad way to set up expectations, I'll be honest. But it's fine. It's nowhere near the worst the show has gotten. So
Yeah.
But yeah, let me know, Shaymin, when you watch them.
Yeah, I'll watch it too.
And we still got to do that one episode. Now that it's summer, let's do that episode.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about,
Yeah,
but
we
I
do.
don't.
Yeah.
It's
I
the-
know.
You don't have the pop filter on that. You don't have a pop filter.
No.
All right, Angie, what's your book club? Sorry to cut you
So
off.
I brought a book.
An actual book.
Department of Truth.
Chonky.
One of the best things about Image is this tome, this omnibus, this Image
Ooh.
book, $50 compared to Marvel's usual like 80 to 100
Yeah, that's like
for
$80.
omnibuses. But Department of Truth's a really fun book. I've been wanting to read more horror lately in terms of comics. And horror is such a underrated genre within the realm of comics. I mean, underrated in the sense that it doesn't get the same mainstream recognition as
People
of
rarely
course-
talk about horror comics.
Yeah,
You got
but,
like horror movies, horror games? Not really.
but this is a great horror comic because I mean, first of all, look at this cover. Look how
No, that's
chilling
rad.
and jarring that is. But then
I'm jarred.
and the first issue cover is JFK
Ooh.
because basically
Or they
You
draw X's over his eyes. What happened?
as it says, Department of Truth, the complete conspiracy.
Oh, okay.
It's basically a department of the United States government that locks down on conspiracy thought because essentially like they lean into the idea of like tulpas, which is the more people that believe in a thing, the more it becomes true and enters our world.
You're gonna
like
love
the-
Persona 2.
And literally like
That's
this
the exact
concept
premise.
yeah, and this concept's so fun. Like one of the first things that we go on with our lead character, Cole Turner, is he attends a flat Earth conference, and they show him a recording of the moon landing, but you could see a guy in the background with no spacesuit on within the moon landing, like just hiding in the shadows with a cup of coffee to indicate, of course, the moon landing was fake. Yada yada, lean to that conspiracy. And they travel to the edge of the Earth, and this is all just issue 1. They travel to the edge of the Earth, go past it, and they go past the flat Earth and land, and they're like, "Look, this is the flat Earth. We've reached the edge of everything." And all the flat Earthers get killed, and Cole is inducted into the Department of Truth because he's an FBI agent that is now working for the Department of Truth, trying to lock down on these conspiracy thoughts, lock down on these supernatural events to keep the world controlled. And one of the first ones that we see is the assassination of JFK, and the leader of the Department of Truth, the Nick Fury of it all, is the guy that got us that was convicted for in real life, Lee Harvey Oswald.
Whoa.
Yeah, so it leads into a lot of heavy conspiracy theory. And one of the things that, I mean, this is one of my favorite sequences in the book. Like, look at this page through the glasses. Like, those creepy-ass, bloodied faces, kind of showing the horror of these insane billionaires and all that shit. And issue 2's cover is
It's
Satan Ronald Reagan.
Oh my god.
It's Tinian on it,
Yep.
or Tinian, or however you say it.
Yeah, James Tinian. I'm pretty sure it's Tinian. And God, who's the
The
artist? on this?
fourth.
James Tinian the fourth. And Martin Simmons is the artist on it, and it's a gorgeous book. A lot of great watercolory and mixed media shit. Like it's truly breathtaking just in terms of the art alone. But if you're into horror, if you're into conspiracy theories, definitely pick up Department of Truth. You don't have to pick up the big fucking tome I did. You could just pick up volume 1, you know, get a skinnier sliver of the
Taste it.
series, you know, get a taste of it. I knew I knew immediately that I would love the concept of this once I heard like an interview with James Tinian talking about it. So I was like, fuck it, you know, like $50 for this whole thing. Let me grab that. So yeah, that's my book club.
Okay, well, I guess that's the episode, guys.
Yeah,
That's the episode.
Be sure to come back in 2 weeks. Editing Liam, put in a joke here if I'm missing this deadline because of it. you never
know. You never know what happens.
Yeah, next time we're gonna be talking about Sonic Underground.
Yeah, so true, so true.
Sonic Underground.
We have so much to say about Urkel.
It's a Sonic podcast now.
Yeah, we've moved.
We're just every episode is Shaymin presenting me with a new piece of Sonic media to try.
And you just
try
don't
their
like
absolute
it.
hardest to get me to
That does sound fun.
to get me to finally go like, all right, yeah, this is chill.
We're probably gonna...
we're starting our second channel, the Super Shenanigans Sonic Show. So be sure to like and subscribe and follow that channel as well. You know, yeah, that's totally real.
The
Trust
quadruple S.
The quadruple S. The Super Shenanigans Sonic Show.
Does it have the Mario Brothers?
So much. Yeah, it's actually about Donkey Kong.
I just want the Super Mario Show intro instead. That's funny as shit. All right. Yeah.
But thank you for watching, guys. Make sure to let us know in the comments how wrong we are and that Sonic is actually the best franchise ever. And Sonic Adventure 2 is the best game ever made. Bye.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Like and subscribe.
Yeah, do that.
I think Knuckles should wear a cowboy hat more. All right. See y'all.
Bye.